You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this sin, not join them!
In control against Artosis debate, and keep going back and forth.
That'll be easy.
War field stabilized. When I turn up the heat. We gotta move.
It is Tuesday, August, not April, the 16th, and welcome to State of the Game. I am JP McDaniel. Tonight on the show, we have Dan Artosis Timkowski, Tyler Liquid Tyler Washaleski, Jeff In Control Robinson, and filling in for Sean, because Sean plus Rebar equals no Sean. He's actually filming a show that he was at the ER earlier, so he couldn't do that. So in his place tonight, we have Greg, e.g. IdrA Fields, and with, of course, the news that came out today, seems appropriate. But let's go around and talk to everyone. Jeff, what have you been up to, man?
Staying busy. You know, it's we're working 8+ hours a day. Aside from that, Greg, myself, and Machine have been going to the gym every day. Machine, or IdrA broke the 200-pound
I was about to say
bench press.
Big
Pretty
milestone.
fucking good. Yeah.
Why isn't the Muslim going to the gym?
The Muslim is
Broken
a
arm.
giant pussy. So.
And that. He is British, though, so you can't really hold him
It's
against.
difficult to lift the weights above my comfort zone. Right, so you don't want to do that.
I see.
Right, Ben? How come you don't go to the gym? How come you don't go to the gym? He's got a broken arm. Yeah, okay. We'll see how long that one.
How'd he get that? Let's make a 200-page thread about it.
already
Anyways.
exists, Tyler, or Artosis.
JP, we're also going to be acquiring, not only did we acquire Huck, we also have acquired the rights to Patrick Bateman, the new Labrador for Team EG.
Nice. I heard that IdrA was going to be joining Team Liquid. That was one of the other announcements that didn't come out today.
That's not public yet, JP. Shut up.
Oh,
Well,
fuck.
they actually
That was
were
part
going
of
to
the
get
deal.
him.
That was part
Here's
of
the
the deal,
thing.
right?
They were going to get IdrA, but they went with a better Zerg and got Chef instead.
Very savage.
Oh, God.
It's alright. It's just true.
The best part is you have the Dr. Evil laugh from one Dan Artosis Timkowski. Dan, how's it going, man? How is Korea?
Korea's rainy, man. It's like monsoon season's supposed to be over, but it keeps raining all the time. So I just stay inside and watch VODs and play StarCraft. So I guess
So it's just like any other normal day.
it's like the rest of my life, but my mom isn't yelling at me while I do it.
Sounds good, man. It sounds
Damn.
good. Greg,
Every time. This guy always does that. He always interjects like a
your
little bit of
jokes.
sadness into something. He always cites the past where he's like, my mom doesn't feed me anymore.
I did
Where
that
it's
just for you, Jeff. I know
like,
that
I
you hate
know.
about the sadness.
We used to ban Dan from talking on Ben about his like personal life because he would always do that. He'd be
We
like,
don't want to hear about the attic.
just order pizza. He's like, man, my mom used to order pizza but then eat it for herself.
oh, God. Greg, what are your thoughts on Huck joining? No, I'm not going to be like everyone else. How's it going, Greg?
Pretty good. Up until today, we've just been practicing like 8-10 hours a day, plus gym, like Jeff said, so not a whole lot of time for anything else, but really productive, really good. Just prep for
Now,
MLG. And now we deal with publicity stuff all day.
yeah, you were going to be going to IM. What was there a PR release announced about that, or why aren't you going? You're just not going?
I just can't go to this one. I'll be going to future IM events.
All right. And Tyler, is Jeff noddingly very proud of Greg.
Noddingly.
Noddingly, yes. Whatever that
Sounds like an
means.
awesome British town.
Ask the Muslim if that's a word for me, Jeff. Turn around and ask him.
Is Nottingley a word, Ben?
Or a town.
Or a town?
I think
Nottingley, England. Where is that? Yeah. What? He didn't make it up. You're Nacron! You're Nacron in your tossa salads!
Oh, bugger.
He's cracked out.
Oh, God. Tyler, why do I always have the hard-hitting questions for you? Why is your Twitter no longer in existence? What's going on, man?
Dude, 140 characters is trash, man.
Okay.
You can't say anything in 100.
I agree
He's
with
waiting
that.
for Google plus plus plus. Twitter.
Oh god.
Don't worry, Dan will try to sell you on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still haven't tried it yet, Dan. You didn't sell me yet.
That's a pretty fluff answer, by the way. 140 characters. By the way, Mr. Calling Out BS over there. Wait.
Wait for the zoom in. This is Jeff's new thing. Well, I guess that's what I'll get out of you. I got 2 announcements. One, shirts will be available by MLG Orlando. Whether that's going to be from MLG or from someone else, I'll decide by then. But by October 18th or whenever that weekend is, we'll have shirts for State of the Game. The other one is there's not going to be State of the Game next week, but I know that a lot of people have been upset because we haven't been live that much every Tuesday. We're going to be doing State of the Game live from MLG Raleigh on the main stage Friday night at midnight, I think at 12:30 on Friday. And that's going to start off with Sundance and Adam Apicella talking about perhaps all of 2012 and kind of what MLG has.
Wait. We have a half hour to do this, and you're going to start off with.
We might have
Sundance.
more. We might have more. I'm going to work for more. If it's only like 5-10 minutes, then it's going to be shorter. But regardless, State of the Game will exist on.
You know, Sundance is not going to be short-winded.
Well, then you can come up on stage and join them.
Shit.
We'll see how that goes. But that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. But we got way too much stuff to actually talk about. And before we actually get into all the news of the day, I did want to actually talk about StarCraft 2 a little bit instead of all the drama revolving around it. I talked to you guys a little bit about this, and it was mentioned to me at the Blizzard Invitationals that you can actually fast expand in PvP. Jeff, you said this isn't something that's new. It's just becoming more popular. Artosis was saying this is something that he's known about, but it's just not as popular. Do you guys, Jeff?
It still has its risks. It's safe against a lot of builds, and it's risky against others. So that's why it's got the same problems as other PvP builds. But it's cool because not a lot of people are doing it. And it's not.
Which expand are you talking about?
Which build is this? Yeah.
Well, there's
There's
either
the
the fake Forgate one or there's the Forge fast expand that I've been seeing in PvP. The fake Forgate, it looks like a Forgate, but then they just throw it on a Nexus, then they make their Forgates. And they can actually pull that off.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one occasionally. That one's like really risky though. Which Forge one are you talking about? Because I use a Forge fast expand on the Korean server right now, PvP on some maps, but it's not like Forge first. I actually get like 3 units, then make the Nexus.
Will that be a different variation that I haven't heard of then?
Well, I made that one up myself, so.
Oh, god damn it, Dan. JP, did he put that in there?
No.
Dan, not Dan.
This is from the Koreans.
Fans.
This is
First of all, it's a tasteless build. Second of all, it's probably not that good.
This is something that I was told that Alicia, Choya, MC, and maybe Tester was the other one, that they've started doing a lot in their PvP matchups.
Well, if one Korean Protoss is doing it, they're all doing it, so you can just say that.
Yeah, it takes like 2 days to spread it to everyone. I don't know, I'm going to have to play a little bit more and see it and steal it, but...
What is it, JP? Do you know it?
I don't know. I don't actually know. That's why I was at... You guys are supposed to be the pros here, man.
I wonder if it's...
Not seeing it in GSL.
Why would I know it?
Not seeing it in GSL.
I saw... I think that MC did it against Hero the other day when he was streaming, but I didn't go back to watch it. Also, it's from Hero's point of view, so you can't really see too much. But I was just wondering if you guys knew what it was, because it seems kind of interesting to me that maybe the matchup might be changing. But then again, everything's just going to be a slower 4-gate. The next thing is nidusing expansions instead of using hatcheries. Greg, were you asked this question on Inside the Game? Jeff was alluding to it. He wasn't sure if that was that exactly or what.
What? Nidusing instead of using hatcheries?
Yeah, so like, you can... I think there was a video on this, but it might have just been...
Yeah, there is one. It's like a goofy video, though, with like music and like 400 niduses, but...
Oh. So,
wait, how does a nidus substitute for a hatchery?
You nidus into a hatch, or you nidus into like where a hatchery would be at an expansion, and then you can set all the drones to rally properly, so they just constantly go back and forth. So it costs 100 to expand.
Yeah, you can put it like right next to the minerals and stuff. It's pretty neat.
Is it efficient?
Well, it's quicker than making a hatchery, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean the mining, but it seems... I hadn't heard of that before. That's cute. I don't know. Maybe.
See, this is...
This is the first I've ever heard of it, so I don't really know.
This is actually crazy, man. I'm blowing you
JP is bringing up all these new strats.
I'm so excited, guys.
Last night, like they aren't even real.
The next one that was actually... I just wanted to have this discussion and piss off everyone since we don't have a Terran on the show. Maybe we'll get to Muslim to comment on this. Greg, Ghost Mech play. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's bullshit. Got a map like
really
Shakuras
strong.
or whatever where you can split a map.
Yeah.
It's just silly. You get 20 ghosts and nothing.
Yeah, Ghost beat everything Zerg has, man. If you're like good at
They're
using
constant
Ghosts.
vision versus everything except roaches, which fucking sucks. So.
Yeah, that's a hard spot,
It's
man.
really, really strong.
Yeah.
It reminds me. I mean, if you watch Thorzane play in particular,
Well, that was just,
Thorzane-
yeah, like watching the Muslims practice games because he uses it because I told him ghosts are fucking good, and it's silly.
Yeah, all these people were whining
It's
about ZBT for like 2 weeks, and it's like, well, guys, I mean, the Ghost is only 100 gas now. Just make Ghosts and
Make them.
snipe Broodlords. You're fine. EMP infestors. They're like, oh, infestors are too strong.
It was
this thing called
actually...
EMP, man.
We'll talk about the North American Invitational, but in the last game to seal that tournament, Select made 3 ghosts and it won him the entire tournament. So he never made him in any other times that him and Sheth played out of the 11 games or something. It was actually ridiculous.
save the best for last, man.
Yeah. It was fun stuff. Then the last one, which Artosa said was used quite a bit by Rhett at the European Invitational, is the 3-hatch pool. And a lot of Koreans are saying that it's just too strong and PVZ is unwinnable.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys all watched the European Invitational, but when Rhett was playing against Nanoa, when he was actually going like 3 hatches before gas, like 2 expands.
Oh, 3?
He looked better than
going
Nesty,
like 4 or
man.
5.
He looked unbelievably good. It was.
I think you did it a couple times at MLG, Greg. Or I mean, sorry, at the Invitational.
Yeah, 4-hatch before gas is pretty common and really good. I think it goes back to like Lucira or something. Like, I think Rhett did 5-hatch before gas, which is new as far as I know. But no, 4-hatch before gas is semi-standard on macro map CVP, and it's really good. It makes any kind of timing, any kind of 2-base, like a coin flip. You have to, if you know what Protoss is doing, you absolutely destroy it. I think Protoss' proper response is just sit back and turtle, go for a death ball. It eliminates the Protoss timing.
That's when Nanoa was actually able to defeat it. Like Rhett got way ahead and actually should have won it anyways. But
he made Hydra.
Nanoa like actually waited till max and like barely won a game with Colossus on
that wasn't barely.
or something.
It wasn't barely. He rolled him, but he made Hydras, and Rhett didn't change any supply.
Rhett should have won.
You know
that,
what
man.
though? To Greg's point, sometimes they're really dumb. So.
Oh, I guess so. I'm so sorry.
He lost like no.
Oh,
units
hold on.
Barely.
Greg.
Dude.
No.
Rhett had some
Artosa, hold on. I forgot the biggest question. Greg, you're going back to Korea. Is Imbalanced coming back?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, man. We're gonna start Imbalance as soon as possible. I've been like so busy, but I'm finally freeing up time. We will have
the first episode be on?
Well, we've already done the first 3, but episode 4, I'm thinking either Ghost Mech or Blue Flame Hellions for sure.
That's weird. When's the Infestor going to be done?
Well, that'd be
we
a
can
pretty
do that,
boring
too.
episode because we just talk about how Templars and Ghosts rape them, and then.
You can't tell. I'm already trying to create dissension between the 2 hosts of Imbalance. Tyler,
You'll never finish it.
can we talk about something real quick, Dan?
What do you want to talk about?
Dan, I got a track record for you. Okay.
Yeah.
You hosted a tournament. It was called Ascension.
Yeah.
You go to the grand finals.
Yeah.
Stops there. Okay.
Dude. Yeah.
Fast forward to Imbalance. Imbalance. Great show. People love it. 3 episodes. Gaining momentum. Cut it off. Your business plan has been had, my friend. I know what you're up to. You're going to start shit and then just let it fade away.
I don't know, man.
Here's my fear. You and Tasteless Casting, the best. Next GSL, Dan, he's a scuba instructor in Hawaii. Who the fuck knows? Gone. Tasteless and Husky take over GSL.
Go for it.
He's got no comments. This guy over here. This guy Dan. No
You're figuring
comment.
him out, man.
No comment, man. You figured me out. I messed up. There you go.
One could say I've even ascended to knowing what you're up to.
You're so dumb.
That
See,
one
the
was
best part
forced.
is, here's me turning to read the chat. There's the spam of LOL, and I feel actually better about my life today. And now I turn it back around because that's awesome. Let's move on. Talk about the biggest news of the day. Drewby is going to Korea, guys. Joining the MVP house. I have to.
No.
I started
But
this whole
it's-
shitting on
it's
Drewby thing
clear.
at MLG Anaheim. I have to keep it up.
Jesus.
He's going.
I have to say, I just got done laughing about the Ascension thing still. I just had 10
That laugh was
fucking
not
pages
aimed
of
at Drew.
thinking I was laughing at something, and they were mad at me, so just clear.
Greg, you made it pretty known your thoughts on this early on inside the game. Do you want to rephrase that
It's just
so
like
the state of the gamers can experience? What?
I can't imagine how he's like Canada B Team 2 vs 2 from StarCraft 1, and he's now flying around the world for StarCraft 2. But he's bad. Like, look at the first Europe show match thing. He shouldn't be
Game off
wasting his
MMA.
time on StarCraft 2.
Took a legitimate game off MMA. Apparently his TBT is really good.
Did he? I don't
Yeah.
believe that.
So some said he actually had the series. I think one of the games MMA came back and beat him.
Who said?
Some.
Some for him.
Forum. Okay, there we go.
Probably some Protoss player. Am I right? Am I right?
Oh man, I just realized that if I'm shitting on Drewby, then it's obviously because he's with Leah, and that's the whole reason. God damn it, the chat's gonna eat me up, man.
Well, they wouldn't have said that if you hadn't. But
No, it was already being
Yeah.
said. That's why I turned around. I was
Oh,
like, oh fuck, they got me.
Oh,
understood.
JP.
I,
You're so
I didn't think this through, guys.
You just like the drama.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the fact that there's going to be a bajillion foreigners in Korea coming up here pretty soon. This is kind of the transition coming out of the Dribba going to Korea. Is this a sign of things to come? I mean, are the best players going to have to live and reside in Korea and fly to other events outside of that and not play in the GSL? I guess most notably, Greg, you're going to be going back to Korea. What are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. Like I said on Inside the Game, you do have to practice in Korea to be the best internationally.
Yeah.
And with Koreans coming to every big tournament now, you're not going to win them as someone who's not doing that. So, yeah, I guess anyone who really wants to compete at that level is going to end up having to go to Korea until we really develop a stronger basis for international play. And if Korea keeps growing in terms of gaining more B-teamers and more StarCraft 1 players, I don't really see that changing. So, yeah, I think more foreigners are going to be coming to Korea.
Artosis, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, you have to come to Korea. I mean, these people just living in their houses, like playing haphazardly on the ladder or like practicing against other people who play incorrectly. I mean, anyone that's following what Nana was saying on his Twitter and stuff, he's telling you, man, he's a guy that was in Europe and really good and could take some games off Koreans. And he comes here, he's like, oh my god, it's like a different world. And he said specifically, finally he's learning to play right. And that's the case. That's one of the reasons why Greg has been owning people, you know, even after he goes back, because he's got all this residual, you know, how to
Koreanness.
play correctly stuff. Like, anyone who comes over, you see huge jumps in their skill. Jinro was absolutely nothing, then he comes over and gets good. Huck was terrible when he came over, and he became amazing. Jeff came over, and he was quite good when he came over, and then his skill improved dramatically. Like,
Nice,
it happens
Dan.
with everyone, man. Look at the best people that we have. Like, Rhett, he was in Korea for a while, okay?
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Tyler, he was in Korea for StarCraft 1. It's a lot of these players are going to go to Korea and get better, and you have to do that if you want to actually be a competitor, not just one of these guys that makes 200 euros a month to, you know, place top 20 in something. It's what you're going to have to do.
Do you think we're going to see a big difference in Naniwal next week in Raleigh, or is it too soon, Artosis?
I think it's too soon. I mean, he'll do well again. He's been doing well. He keeps getting like top non-Korean there, right? So
Yeah.
I'm sure
I
he'll
think he
do
got
well.
7th or 6th or something.
Yeah.
Seven
But,
or eight.
7th
Him
or
or
8th, yeah.
Is he going to be ready to take it down? I'm not sure. It takes a while for Korea to really sink in because he's going to be playing probably a slightly new style that he's not too used to, and so I don't know. We'll have to see. But looking at his group, I mean, Korean play PvP, that's really going to help him out for that group. So
We will be taking a look at the groups for MLG a little bit later in the show, but we've got a lot of stuff to get through first. Tyler, you lived over in Korea for StarCraft 1. You've been over there. You've experienced what it's like. Is that the place that foreigners have to go, or is it just by a case-by-case type scenario?
I mean, I think for StarCraft 2, you do have to go. With StarCraft 1, we had the iCup ladder, so you could play Koreans with good latency as much as you wanted, without moving to Korea. So, I mean, for StarCraft 1, I'd honestly say you really didn't have to move to become pretty good. I think someone who was really dedicated at StarCraft 1 could play iCup and move to Korea and, like, go straight onto an A team. Not be anywhere near the best, but they could be pretty damn good. And now with StarCraft 2, it's not really possible. The only reason that would be possible is because the level of competition hasn't risen nearly as high as StarCraft 1 got to, but that's just because StarCraft 2 is a new game.
So I gotta ask, are you ever gonna be over in Korea for Star 2?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think playing with latency is definitely a huge problem, but it's not impossible. So I think if I was super serious about being the best I could, I would just play on Korea server from North America.
Have you researched any like tunneling programs or anything? Because I know that you can bounce off of different servers for ping issues.
I don't. It does. Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't work at all.
No, it doesn't really. It doesn't make a noticeable difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was curious. Jeff, what are your thoughts on all the foreigners going over to Korea?
It's awesome. It's just, I'm so happy that there's so many different organizations getting behind these players and sending them off to a very expensive place to go, with the full intention of them getting better at StarCraft. Right? Like it's not. Yeah. There's not a huge. I mean, there is going to be some publicity there for sure. They're going to be the talk of the town, but there's not like, it's not like the Intel trip to Korea, or it's not monetized that way. It's purely to make them better players, and I think that's really, really cool. And some of my favorites are going over there. I think Nanny was one of the best foreigners. I think Thorzane's one of the best foreigners. A lot of people talk about Sase. I think he's got a lot of potential. Phoenix is over there right now. Just some really, really good, strong representation from the foreigner squad, and I really hope that they turn in results.
One thing that I did actually have a chance to watch last week was the Code A game with all the foreigners, or the Code A night with all the foreigners. Did anyone else happen to watch it here?
I saw like 2 or 3 of the matches.
I watched most of those matches from the foreigner night, the night of Sweden.
So
I watched them all. Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the matches? I guess is how I'll propose.
I thought Thorzane did well. Everyone else got owned, man. It was pretty bad.
I know. Okay, whatever. Give me the hate, but they have an excuse, man. They were traveling the day before. Like,
of course, no.
It's fucking really hard to go from one event to the next.
Hey, if you watch the F United, like, what was it? A day or two later, they owned, man.
Who did they play?
They way outplayed.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and MVP's doing so well too. So
Naniwal won that ace,
MVP
right?
didn't use Dongregu or Keen, I don't think. It was a half power.
Okay, I'm not afraid of Keen in that lineup, but
he's still one of their better players.
I think they have some other players better.
I think Genius
I don't
was
know.
a really good player who played.
Yeah, Naniwal beat him in the final.
Dan, will you pipe down, please? Idra's trying to talk.
Terrible
person. No, they did really well, though, and you could see that after a couple days and getting more used to it, they did a better job, and I think they'll do a good job next season as well.
I'm hoping. I heard, and again, this is just me hearing. It's not like an official word. Someone said they're not going to take GSL very serious because they're there to train more, and they don't necessarily care about the GSL run. I hope that's not true. I don't know if anybody else has heard that, but I'm going to stay up every night for those guys. I really hope that they are trying.
I mean, if they're getting better as players, they don't necessarily have. I guess they could train specifically for that matchup, but if they're getting better, they're going to perform better in GSL, right?
Yeah.
It's not like someone's going to show up to GSL and just blow it off. I mean, they're going to be taking it seriously.
That's what I would think too. I don't know. It's probably a stupid statement that doesn't really mean anything. It might have been one of the emotional responses that Nanny shoots out there about every day, but I'm rooting for him, man. Every time, I can't help it. Every time a foreigner's playing, I'm rooting hardcore. I don't care who it is. Like, I'd like them to do well.
I think he might have just been trying to take some pressure off himself. Because he takes losses hard, man.
Yeah,
he cares so much.
Harder than anybody. Harder than anybody, I would say.
How soon after the European regionals was that? That was like a week or so, right?
Something like that, really fast.
He was pretty, from what I was told and saw in the pictures on Reddit, he was pretty emotional after the losses in that event.
He had to hold himself together after facing Rhett. It made me a bigger fan. That's for damn sure, seeing a guy care that much like that. Just took second place, got himself a big chunk of cash.
Yeah.
He didn't give a fuck. He was pissed.
The honey badger.
I like Nanoa more and more every single time I see him like type anything or say anything. Like when he first popped on the scene, I really disliked the kid. He was just this scrub cheeser that was so bad manner, and now he's like this guy with the mind of a champion. That's totally
right.
awesome.
You did hate him back. I remember that.
Well, he hated
Everyone
me, man.
did.
I didn't do anything. He was like actually flaming me on forums. I'd never talked to him and stuff. Like on forums no one reads, like the MYM forum. I was so confused.
There's like, where's this Artosis son of a bitch?
I know. He's just like calling me a scrub and stuff. I'm like, who are you? Oh, the guy who never makes a Nexus. Okay. But no, he became so good, and every time he types now, he's just like disappointed in himself for not winning more, and he's just like, I have to train harder, and he's in Korea, he's doing it, he's working his ass off. So, I mean, I'm becoming a huge Nanoa fan, man. I can't wait to see where he actually goes.
Now, we mentioned Korea, obviously. Jeff, I'm going to let you kind of take the reins on this, and this isn't because Jeff used to work at NASL or supported NASL or whatever his role was,
Right.
just because he actually knows the most about this situation, and I tried reading about it, but it was just a giant clusterfuck, and I don't want to repeat that. So, Korea pulled out of NASL. Jeff, talk to me about why and kind of what's out there.
Well, this will take several clarifications, I'm sure, from everybody whoever is interested in this chat, but there's a lot of stories coming out right now. There's two sides, basically. One, NASL is saying that they were trying to work with the Koreans. They had received word quite a while ago, in fact, going into the finals of Season 1, that a $500 stipend was not enough support to justify sending all the Koreans, so they upped it to $1,000 on the spot. But then they, talked about. I think they upped it to $1,000, and perhaps the rest of it was taken out of prize money and player. What do they call it? Security deposits. So that was their story, and then going to Season 2, all was supposedly fine. And then their problem was that in the 12th hour, the Koreans pulled out because essentially, which then now goes into the Korean story, which is that they don't like that there is a security deposit at all. They think that that's, it shows mistrust with the players. It's another expense to them. Why do they have to do it? And then their players are not being treated correctly because they have to pay more money to go over there. They were upset that they had to pay for their ticket from the airport to the event, I suppose. And I think they were saying, like, they didn't like how the event was ran as well. They said for a big event, it was amateurishly. Is that a word? Amateurishly?
It's all right, man. I made up a fucking town in England earlier, so let's just go with it.
Let's go with it. It was ran in an amateur fashion. And you can see all those comments, and MVP's Coach Choi weighs in.
Yeah, this actually
right now.
just came out on ESFI, ESFIworld.com. It says, I'm not saying these things because of the ill will towards NASL. I have no reason to hate NASL. I just simply wish as a fan of the major tournament that NASL would be able to fix their mistakes in order to improve an event. There's a bunch of little blurbs in there that are pretty big.
It's the biggest clusterfuck ever. Like, NASL was talking to some people. They thought they were the people making decisions. It turns out they weren't. The people that are actually making decisions are actually like 10 separate people that are working away from SC2Con, or so they claim. So there's like all these kinds of different people communicating with each other that are like, but you're not supposed to be talking to that guy, you're supposed to be talking to me. So it's gotten really ugly. There's been like 4 different announcements about it, 4 separate threads, because each time it's supposed to be the definitive new story, but it's actually not, because something else changes. So it's kind of confusing for the community, I think.
Yeah, one of the big quote, I think, from that article is, the players and teams who participated in the Season 1 NASL Grand Final returned with disappointment. He continued, the Korean players were very disappointed by how amateur NASL was in running such a huge tournament. I think, for the most part, well, that was Boxer's first time over in North America, correct? For StarCraft 2, right?
If you don't count the BlizzCon events where he faced.
Oh, that's right. We're Fruit Dealer.
Fruit Dealer, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you? Is that just a bad egg in the sense of a tournament, and they should just kind of forgive and forget, or do they actually have a point there with, like, they came over, experienced something, and it wasn't what they were used to or what they were expecting, and now they're just.
I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for their perspective, to be honest with you. Like,
yeah,
for MLG, I have to pay for everything.
Yeah,
it's actually standard procedure for most tournaments. You pay for yourself to get there. They don't pay for. I mean, they weren't invites; they were qualifiers, right? Like,
yeah.
They signed up, they signed contracts, they read everything, they knew exactly what they're getting into. The hours are terrible. It is a more expensive ticket for them to come over there. I understand all that. But let's not kid ourselves. They know what they're risking and what they have the potential reward. It's a smaller tournament in terms of Korean density for a higher prize than most of the tournaments that they compete in.
Mm-hmm.
So the risk to reward, yes, there is some risk, but there's a much, much higher reward. So it's kind of silly to go into every tournament, I think, and expect everything to get handed to you, and then there's just the risk of you winning everything. That seems... I mean, that's awesome, and that does happen, and those tournaments need to be held up on a pedestal, but it shouldn't be expected that every tournament do that, I don't think.
Dan,
I mean, what do you guys think? I don't know.
Yeah, get some other opinions in here. Dan, what do you think?
I don't like the way that it was handled. I mean, they just pulled out right before Season 2 started, right?
Yeah, it was,
Am I right
think,
on that? Okay.
days. Like, I think the preseason for NASL started today, right?
Yeah. To me, that's dirty.
Already.
That's dirty, in my opinion. I can't believe they did that. That's like a shameful act to wait that long. So I'm sad that they chose to be so unprofessional in that way. And as Jeff said, you can't just expect every tournament to fly you out. I mean, the fact that NASL, at a moment's notice, doubled the stipend to fly out when everyone already knew what they were getting to go out there.
Yeah,
that shows that actually they're very professional. And
they offered to quadruple it to $2,000, which is like I don't know of any tournament that offers that.
Yeah, that's a rare set of tournament organizers that's going to work with you that hard to try to make you happy and get you there. I have to say, personally, NASL treated me greatly. It was their first event. The first day was rough. After that, it was a beautiful event, I thought. It was really cool. It was kind of like a small event, but really well done. And I don't know where all this is coming from. I think it's pretty ridiculous. It just, from what I've heard and what I've read, it's to leave at the last second and leave this league high and dry like that. I don't know. I have respect for someone like NASL, who these guys weren't really deep into esports. You know, these guys aren't like multi-million business people. You know, they're guys that saw this and they want to do this and they like it, and they're trying to build something up from the bottom. You know, we've seen NASL progress every single week, and then they kind of get shit on at the last second, it seems. So I'm not very happy with the way it went down, and I will still be watching NASL for sure. I was watching this morning, and I'll continue to tune in as I wake up.
Tyler, you got any thoughts on it?
Just pretty much agree with what's been said. I can only really see the Koreans at fault here. I don't, without knowing all the details, I can't say exactly what went wrong, but I can't really imagine how they didn't do anything wrong and they've had reasonable expectations this whole time. It's just not possible. It seems like NASL handled it pretty well. Maybe in some crazy perfect world, some heroic NASL employee could have done some magical thing that would have fixed it. That's, you can't expect that. I think they handled it as well as could be expected and professionally, and then the Koreans just did something dirty.
Greg, you got any good one-liners?
I haven't really followed it, and I didn't actually watch the NASL finals, but yeah, it definitely seems like the Koreans are acting very entitled here. No one expects that much support going to a tournament. If you get a full invite thing from like Blizzard, then yeah, you get that kind of treatment.
Well,
but
yeah,
that's Blizzard and that's full invite. This is not that. You can't expect it.
To be honest, if you look at this as well, because from what I've heard, right, like Slayer's Boxer was involved in this in some way. You guys were saying, like,
he actually bowed out beforehand. He said that it was just waking up at that hour and going to this event wasn't worth it for him, so he wasn't going to be part of it.
Okay.
And he did it very diplomatically, actually.
That's good then. Never mind on that. But I don't know. Maybe just because it's been so professional in Korea for so long, they're not used to this. For us, coming from StarCraft 1 in America, all of us here, it's like, wait a minute, you mean I can pay for a ticket to the moon for a chance to win that ticket money back? I'm there, For them, I guess they have completely different expectations, which, I don't know. They don't line up with the way I feel, that's for sure.
I think people should, to Tyler's point, though, and it's been pointed out before, and I think it should be limelighted, because in order for this stuff to kind of stop, we have to identify it. Like, their complaints could very well be perspective-based and legitimate based upon what they're used to in their culture, and that's fine. The part that we need to, as a community, have an issue with is that they very much so purposely waited till the end of the line, the last moment. And what people need to detach themselves from is they did that purposely, not necessarily to hurt the NASL, but because when you're asking, when you have like they have the celebrities. Koreans bring the eyes. They're the top players. When they wait to the last minute and say quadruple it, they're expecting like I have nowhere to go. I'm in the corner. I have to say yes. And NASL stood up for themselves. They said, sorry, we're not going to do it. And I don't think the Koreans anticipated that, so that's why this is all public and it's really messy. And that kind of business that's not good. I don't think we should allow that. We have to allow it, but what I'm saying is in the future we should hold that against that kind of business endeavor.
I mean, when NASL was first announced and I saw the ways NASL was protecting themselves, I kind of took issue with it as a player. I was like, okay, if we're going to get all professional, then I want protection too, and all this kind of stuff, and I'm fighting for player rights and that kind of shit. But even like coming from that perspective, and from season 1 going into season 2, like this is just not how you handle it. Like if you have an issue with anything, you have to be straightforward. You don't play hardball. You don't calculate how much leverage you have and take a calculated risk on forcing the other side into doing something that's not something that they think is reasonable. Like if you want everything to be fair and square and everyone to be happy, you don't do it by playing hardball like this. And it seems sometimes like for Korea, hardball is the default way to do business, and that might just be their culture, but it comes off in a lot of situations is pretty nasty when I see it. But
yeah, well, I hope that maybe we'll get kind of more of a Korean response coming out of that. I think the first one was that article over on ASFI World from Coach Choi, which you can go read. MVP Coach Choi weighs in Koreans NASL exit. Go read that. You can get caught up on the latest. Moving on though, the IPL 2 finals were last night. That was White Raw beating Nurchio, I think 3-1, maybe 4-1 if it was a best of 7. I forget exactly what the final score was.
3-1. It was 2 best of 5s. Nurchio had to win 2 best of 5s.
But I might be completely off base. I think I started watching in game 2, and it only had like 14,000 people watching, and it was all from replays, I'm pretty sure. Does that hurt the credibility?
I think they had 20,000. I thought I saw 20,000.
I know it probably picked up towards the end. That's why I was asking you guys in chat, because I didn't want to make a huge error. Someone in chat could probably tell us as we'll watch. But do you think that running a tournament like that with replays hurts the spectatorship of it at the finals?
I think replays is okay, but the fact that it was like 2 months delay, that really hurt it for me at least. It's just the strategies people were using were out of date. Maybe even the patch version. I'm not entirely sure about that. But the games did not line up with what we're seeing from players right now. And that really took a lot out of it for me. And it's just when something is that far behind, I think that messes it up. But replays themselves, I don't have any problem with that.
It was 27K for the, I guess, max is what the chat's saying. But I kind of feel like that's almost the only way to do that when you kind of have a global online tournament is replays, because there's no way you're going to be able to play all that live.
Replays, yes, but there's a threshold, I think, in time.
That makes sense.
NASL is a day, and I think, oddly enough, and again, you can call me biased or whatever, I think it being 1 day actually mitigates that point. There's of course no doubt that live is the best option, albeit for the cheaters. But a month or two, it just sucks a little bit of. I can actually feel it. I got on people that were like, "A day delay? That's stupid. This is terrible." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" But actually, with this, you could really feel it. Now, I will say this: if they're able to get around that and still have the production level they do, sky's the limit, man.
Is that the
graphics are awesome?
You think?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's doable too. The graphics and stuff they can pull it over. I don't know that you're going to be able to do the ESPN 3-man desk thing in between games, which I thought was awesome. I would love it if they could do something like that. But 27,000 for the grand finals of that tournament, that's not what they were. I would be very hard pressed to believe that that's what they wanted.
Yeah, I knew that the numbers were low. I just didn't know that they were 27K. Tyler, do you have any thoughts on it, or Artosis?
No, I think IPL. It's like a show. It's kind of like a television show, I guess. If the same type of thing happens with documentaries. I've been seeing more and more documentaries lately of StarCraft and Street Fighter and all this stuff. And it takes a while to actually make something, to actually produce something out of the footage you have, and this is kind of the same deal where, I'm like, I just watched the Mike Ross one the other day, and it was
good?
for Evo. Yeah, it was a great documentary, but the end of it was Evo 2010, and I just watched Evo 2011, a couple weeks ago. So
That's true.
it was late, but it's still a great show, and I think IPL is the same in that. Yeah, it's a little bit late, but they're adding production value to that. They're making sure that they have all these great players. It's a great prize pool. It's great commentators. It's different than the other ones. I am as big a fan of live stuff as anyone, but IPL is just kind of like this nice additional show that's on that you can watch.
It's true.
Kind of on the upswing. They announced IPL 3, entitled Origins, I guess is the name of this, Season 3. The finals will be taking place in Caesars Palace in Atlantic City. $100,000 with kind of one of the most interesting points about this announcement is the prize pool breakdown. 17th through 32nd is $1,000. So I think if you qualify for this, you already make $1,000 just for showing up. 30,000 for first, second is 12K, then it kind of breaks down further, but it seems pretty evenly sparsed out. I know Jeff and Greg, you guys talked about this a little bit on Inside the Game, so if you want to retouch on it, you can here, but primarily Artosis and Tyler, just want to get your initial thoughts on it. So Artosis, what do you think, IPL 3?
It's great, man. I think LAN tournaments are the way to go. They're always my favorite, is to actually have people play live in person. I don't like online as much. I think it means a lot more, and I'm sure they'll put on a great event. Of course, they've had all this time for insane production values, but now they have all this time to prepare for it. I can't wait to see it. I'm really excited about it.
They actually have a link to the venue, or at least the stage that it'll be at, in this thread over on Team Liquid. It looks definitely unlike it. Kind of looks like the Blizzard EU stage that they had there a little bit. But it'll definitely be a great event. I think it'll be on October 6th. I think I'm gonna try to make it out there, though. Although that's the week before Raleigh, or no, Orlando, which is the week before BlizzCon. So that's a lot of traveling. But we'll have to see. Tyler, you got any thoughts on it? You gonna try qualifying?
I like the. Yeah, I'm gonna play the qualifier. I like the prize distribution.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if it's perfect, but I like the general idea. For 32 people to be pretty damn happy, I mean, $1,000, you're happy to win that. So 32 people leaving that place happy is pretty awesome. So I like that. And 30,000 for first place, that's still big enough.
Yeah.
For promotional purposes and stuff. But of course, they're going to promote the 100,000 total.
Right.
Total prize pool. So, yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
One of the other big blips from that announcement was the fact that if you're under 21, you're not allowed in the venue. There's a way around that, though. Do what? Yeah, to observe. You can go in as a player, which is probably some gambling law or something. I don't know the specifics. But is that going to hurt live audience, you think?
Well, obviously, there are people at MLG under 21.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot go to IPL. So, yeah.
Is it going to be enough to...
Well said.
I mean, is it going to be enough to make the tournament...
His logic is flawless.
He's pretty good at that. Is it going to be enough to actually hurt the tournament kind of overall, or you think there'll still be enough people showing up?
There'll still be a ton of people. I don't think it'll be a huge deal, but I kind of question the rationale for having it at a venue like that. Like, what is the benefit that makes it worthwhile to exclude a chunk of your audience? I don't really understand.
He wants to incorporate people betting on players and matches.
Are they actually going to do that?
Sports betting areas, yeah.
Okay.
It's just a different style. There's been MLGs at these cities, and that's been nice. There was rural California for NESL. Now this is going to be Atlantic City, which is the poor man's Vegas. So it should be... The lights will be up, man.
Should be a lot of fun. I think... They haven't started the first qualifiers this weekend, right?
They haven't played them yet. They just announced it today.
Yeah.
This weekend, I think.
Okay, cool. So we'll be all watching that. Let's move on to a tournament that's already happened. The Blizzard Latin American and North American Invitational. Don't have to talk too much about the Latin American, although I'm sure Dan wants to get in the fact that Six Jack's Major won. Were you very proud of him, Dan?
Of course.
Did you watch his games at all?
No. Well, I didn't watch that tournament. There's so much going on, man. I'm sorry. I have to watch my Korean games and the games that have, the highest level foreigners. I just don't have time for everything, and that had to be cut out.
You didn't watch your protege major?
No, I mean, it was obvious he was going to win.
Wasn't that
he's my
obvious?
protege, man. Obviously, come on.
He almost lost to Reason.
He had some tough times in their killer game.
He did almost lose to Reason. That's actually true.
What race was Reason playing?
He played TVZ the entire tournament.
It had to be Zerg. Yeah.
That was the only matchup he played all tournament long, which is kind of silly. But
Only reason he won. Just got to play a bunch of Zergs.
Did he make Blue Flame Hellions? Because if I remember
He made a lot of
StarCraft
them.
correctly, man, there's probably a lot of Zerglings in that tournament.
almost every almost every game it was a Stem Marine Hellion push that just lasted forever, just streaming across the map, and he took out everyone almost every game. Although he did kind of vary it up a little bit. North American Invitational. Did you watch that, Dan? I think you did.
The European one?
No, the North American one.
Oh, I watched almost every game in that. What are you asking me about?
Thoughts, games, important ones. What were your thoughts?
I felt again they didn't really perfectly choose the players for it. There were some good games by some of the lower 4 players as opposed to the upper 4, but you could tell when it got to the top 4 players, it's like, well, these ones obviously are the ones that are supposed to be in the top 4, 100%. You know, I even felt like they showed a level beyond Kiwi Kaki, which is, you know, obviously he's been great for a long time, but the top 4 obviously should have been the top 4. I was slightly surprised with how it turned out, though, with Select like owning it up and my little Gregors like losing that game to Huck on Shakuras. That broke my heart. But it was a good tournament. I liked it.
Jeff in the finals selected one build in 5 games. Do you want to comment on this? I know in the past, you've been.
He's proven me wrong. It works apparently, so who gives a shit? The most important thing I can take away from that, from me, and of course I'm biased, is there's a little story. Dan will know this. Tyler might know this. Greg knows this. Many years ago, Machine used to be an actual machine. He would do the same build every single time. And people knew this, so he would enter every tournament, and people were like, okay, well, if I attack before 4 minutes, he actually doesn't have any. He can't stop it. He gets cheesed. He faced last Gosu, and I believe it was a WCG qualifier for the finals. Last Gosu bunker rushed him on Blue Storm, and Bryce struggled and held it off, and it was like the most epic comeback ever. And in that moment, he actually became a different player. He actually like broke through the mold. He like learned tenacity, and that like you don't have to just give up, and you don't have to throw. Yeah. You know, he just became a better player. That moment, I'm hoping beyond hopes, happened at the North American qualifier when Mr. Greg Fields on Metalopolis against one DDE had his third base smashed. And everything looked like he was going to give up. I kept like...
Well, we even said it in the cast,
every heart palpitation, I saw the GG, the GG, the GG. But it never came. And he hung the fuck on, and clawed his little IdrA claws back into the game. and he was red-faced, and his glasses were steamy, and he won. And I looked at that, and I said, you know what? That is potentially an extremely important game, because that same IdrA has left a lot of games really, really fast. Didn't do it this time, so I'm hoping that's the moment we look back and we say, Greg,
that's when he changed.
He became fucking awesome.
We actually pointed that out in the cast, man. It was pretty interesting. Greg, you want to talk? I mean, you are actually IdrA, so why did you stay in that game?
I don't know, I was just in a really bad mood, and I couldn't accept losing to DT at that point. I would like killed myself.
There you go.
There you go, guys.
Before every single MLG, I'm gonna orchestrate like the worst day you've ever had. Like you're gonna wake up, there's poo in your shoe. Hobbs is gone, maybe. You know, like you were supposed to get a ride to the venue, but you couldn't, so you walked in the rain so that it would hide your tears, and then you get there and you crush it. I'm gonna make it happen.
Next question I have for you, Greg, is at the time when you shook Huck's hand, did you realize that you just told the biggest secret and gave it away? Because you never do that.
People didn't really figure it out.
I knew immediately when it happened. I was like, Greg, you shouldn't have done that.
You didn't already know? thought
No,
that
I knew. I was just like, Greg, that's actually like a big fucking sign,
No,
man.
they-
Why the fuck did you do?
No, it's his fault. He initiated it, and he actually told me he was thinking like, oh, I can go do this to him. He can't turn me away now. We're teammates. So he was fucking with me. But no, I didn't really give much thought to it. I was just like, yeah.
It was in all the conspiracy threads, man. That was one of the big points. You shouldn't have done it.
No, there
You know
was
what,
still
though?
plenty-
In
there
Greg's
was still
defense,
plenty of debate over
he
what
didn't
it
make eye contact, though. I mean, can we
Did-
give Greg a little bit of props?
He
It's
smirked
like
though. He smirked.
just smirk, handshake, but not gonna
That was a
fucking
smirk
look
of
at
disgust at Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, that was exactly.
It was
what
like-
I've seen that smirk
Glad you
people
saw
on
that.
that kid's face. Yeah.
That's not a happy smirk.
That's actually what it looked like. Zoomed
Fucking
in and
beat me.
everything.
I think you're so good.
What did you think of that tournament, Greg, and how you played in all the games?
I played shitty, so I'm not a big fan of it. Although that game against TT1 on the ladder map was kind of cool because that was like the second time I'd ever done that build and I won with it.
Was that the Infestor Ling build?
Infestor Link timing attack, yeah.
I remember that.
So like that
Well, it
was
is a tough build to execute.
Jeff, that's when you got to do the zoom in, man.
holding
You
down
missed
T and clicking a lot. That's pretty fucking hard. I don't know.
Here's the zoom in. Everyone wait for it.
No, that I guess the Metal Game vs. DD was okay, but no, losing a North American only tournament is incredibly disappointing.
Now, I didn't get a chance to talk to you after the Sheth series. But how upset were you after that series?
It just felt stupid because like the first game was the Temple Bane all in. And I just didn't get my own tech in time. Like I held off. I knew he was going to do it because we've played a bunch of series recently, and I always went like 15 hatch, 16 gas, 15 pool, which is pretty greedy.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured he was going to try and cheese and punish it. No, I held off the 10 pool easily. I didn't lose any drones, but then I just didn't get my own tech in time to stop the Baneling all in follow up. And then the second game was just a roach timing, and I was trying to do too many things at once and got caught. He never plays that aggressive, and I got complacent. So it was a stupid series.
Were you at all surprised by Select winning that tournament?
After I lost to Sheth, no, because Select was saying he practiced only TVP.
Mm-hmm.
He had a ridiculously good hold on it at the point, and I figured, if anyone was going to take him, if anyone was actually going to be able to beat him, it would be me, Huck, maybe Kiwi. And so, given that he was focused completely on TVP, it's not too surprising that he beat Huck pretty well, and pretty easily. And then Kiwi, he didn't get to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I lost to Sheth, I mean, well, we saw
His
Sheth.
TVP looked scary.
Yeah.
He was good.
I would have felt very confident versus Sheth because CVT is still my best. Obviously, he didn't practice TVT too much, but Sheth's CVT is just.
You mean Select, right? Or
I
you're
think-
saying Sheth's CVT is not good. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Not good.
I think that was both their worst matchups. I think both players told that to me.
I know Sheth's CVP is his best. I think his CVT is better than his CVT.
Jeff, what about Select's TVP was scary? I mean, I think everyone kind of saw the Tal'Darim altar. If not, you should go watch that game against Huck with the medevac control. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
but
he's always had the control that was there. I feel like one of his weaknesses as a player was certainly his macro game, and at least in TVP he was doing some stuff that was figuring it out pretty heavily. And he's been training for a while. He actually talked about, I mean, even going into NASL finals, he trained specifically for MC. The whole he skipped out on a DreamHack or whatever just to train for that. So
yeah,
he is a professional of the professionals, and it showed. I do want to say this, and it's great that I still do this. It makes the forums fun. I did not find his TVZ very good. Relative to what he was facing, okay? So it's not like I'm saying it's a bad matchup for him. But against Sheth, and did he play another Zerg? Or was it just Sheth a whole bunch?
This Sheth.
it was Sheth 11
Sheth a whole
maps or
bunch.
something like that.
Yeah. There was a lot of pretty messed up play, and Sheth was able to almost reverse all kill for the win.
Yeah.
So I was glad Select was able to hold on because I felt like he played the best in that tournament, so he deserved the win. But his TVZ, and he knows it.
He'll be the first one to tell you that.
He knows it, yeah.
Yeah. Tyler, did you watch any of the tournament at all?
Yeah, I watched a handful of games.
What were your thoughts on it before we move on?
Well, I was really happy for Select, first of all. Like, I saw him at the last MLG event when he had lost a few matches. He seemed real sad. I was trying to cheer him up.
He was in Anaheim. He was really down.
Yeah, but he's good. What?
I don't
Was
know.
that necessary?
I'm sorry.
Jeff's just having fun.
Tyler, fast the whip though. He's like, what? You can't use the zoom in that quick. I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead.
Unnecessary. But yeah, I mean he's good, and so it's a bummer to see someone who's pretty good just lose that bad. So I was happy to see him win, but yeah, man, I would think that the way he plays TVP that he would be better at TVZ.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have to guess if there's a TVP style that translates kind of to TVZ, I feel like his would be it because he keeps the pressure on. He's kind of everywhere at once. I don't know. I'm not real familiar with TVZ, but I feel like he couldn't be that far from being really good at TVZ, and if he figures out whatever he needs to figure out to make it work for him, that's going to be really scary. But I'd like to play him in some PvT. I feel like I've been familiar with his style for a while, and he doesn't change it up that much, so I'd like to go up against it and see what he's changed. Like, I can't really tell from watching Huck play, because Huck does a lot of weird things that I don't do. I feel like Huck actually made quite a few mistakes, and I would have liked to see what happened if he hadn't made some of the mistakes. But, yeah, sucks TVP, man.
He's
It's
also
the real deal.
He's actually, like, a lot of people don't necessarily know this, but they need to, it's kind of cool to know this in the background. He's actually a really tough guy to prepare for Zergs in the metagame. I think Greg would feel confident going into it, but a lot of people would have to prepare for any range of cheese, and that's not a disrespect to him at all. It's just that he's capable of busting out some severely dangerous cheesy stuff, like that three bunker wall that he did on Shakira's, because he's beaten Rhett with that. I've seen him do 2 barracks play. I've seen him do heavy blue flame, quick drops. Like, the range of stuff he does is actually quite through the roof. So he's a pretty scary player to prepare for.
Now, before we move on, 2 MLG Dallas groups, IEM Cologne groups. We're obviously going to talk, so I combine Huck and talk, about the EG thing. I do want to talk about the ladder maps. Last week, or the last show, rather, we mentioned them, but everyone here just hadn't played them yet. So now that we all have had a chance to play them, I just want to break them down and kind of get everyone's thoughts. So starting off, Abyssal Caverns, that is, of course, the... hopefully you guys know what the map looks like by now.
I don't even know the names. I know the maps.
It's the Twilight one. The spawning it's kind of symmetrical in the center, split down the middle vertically.
Is that one with close air positions?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. I believe so.
Can you link us to the pictures? Because I'm not.
Oh my!
I'm not going to be able to do this.
There's one that's rotational and one with close air.
You know what? And when
It's
you do
close
it,
there.
you're called an enabler, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
When you go retrieve that for Artosis, he continues to atrophy at his home.
That's true.
That's it,
Well,
man.
if I want him to speak about it, I guess I have to
Can
find
you
him.
be a chap? Go get me the information for what you want me to talk about.
I don't use Google, man. I just give JP
my
a
spine has been hurting lately. If you haven't noticed, it's hard for me to reach for the old mouse over there. Let me go get that thing. Okay, where is the ladder maps?
And then he cocks his head back. Okay. You do that.
You know what's frustrating about the Blizzard tournament, though, is they're still using Metalopolis. They're using MLG versions of maps. They still use Metalopolis.
Best picture meme ever. 1 in 40 makes me laugh. This one was hilarious. It's Dustin Browder, and at the top it says "Remove Metalopolis 'cause imbalanced," and then at the bottom it says "Put an invitation."
Well, I love how they explicitly
was
said
good.
that. I love how they explicitly said that ladder maps aren't supposed to be tournament maps, and then they host their tournament and they do it all on ladder maps. A lot of the ladder maps are fucking terrible. It was just close position shattered. I mean,
Well,
what the fuck?
let's now that I've enabled Artosis, why don't you open those links up in the chat? Sweet stop shitting on Blizzard.
There's a picture on the forum, by the way, Dan, called WCG 2005. It's a picture of your pinky. Did you know that?
I actually saw it.
really?
That was
I
pretty
think
funny.
it's on Reddit.
That's
how
gonna
I play,
scare
man.
everyone.
Very
It's gonna cost you
I'm
fans.
out
going
there,
to
man.
make your pinky famous. Did you know that?
You know what else someone pointed out to me? When I brush my teeth, I'll brush with one hand, the other hand will be at my side with my pinky out in the exact same way. I have no
Gross.
idea why.
Disgusting.
Oh, there's something wrong with your brain.
I made fun of Anna at the gym because she actually she was doing the squat rack. So I can't show you, but she had the frickin' high society pinky on the squat rack behind her. Her pinky's up like this, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Holding a champagne glass?" And she's like, "What?" Put your pinky down. So sorry. Anyways,
Abyssal Caverns. Thoughts, Jeff? Go.
oh shit, is there pictures and stuff?
There are pictures and stuff. Open it up.
Well, basically, the only one that's cool is
Antigua.
Antigua Shipyard, but
Yeah. Let's just
thing
go. Let's go
yeah.
through each one and actually talk about why it is not.
Here's why I like this
Cool.
one. It's a little bit broken. If you go Blink Stalkers, and the Zerg is close air positions, you're basically 2 blinks away from their actual main hatchery.
Mhm.
From your main. So what I've started to do on the ladder is I just blink into their base, snipe their hatchery, and blink back home. And I've gotten like 4 no GGs for that, so I'm pretty... It's pretty ridiculous. So, I mean, the map's just silly. The other thing, too, that it then karma bites me in the ass is that if you're close positions from ramp to ramp, if you make any mistake, it feels like it's steps of war or whatever all over again. It's really quick.
Has anyone else got any thoughts about Abyssal?
I
No,
initially
think-
liked it, and now I don't
Yeah.
anymore. Not so
Yeah.
much.
I think this is the original map that I said was the one I don't like. Yeah, it is. Yeah, if you just look at it, there's something not right there. I don't like the map.
Very.
Very scientific of me, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
I played it a bunch. It
I
doesn't
was
feel
about-
right. It's I don't know. I find it kind of easy. It's like you can easily do a forge expand if you want, and it's the spots aren't equal. You know, it's not like you have like 3 completely different games on this map depending upon where you spawn. Completely different, and I mean that has to mean that some of those spots are imbalanced, right? That's just.
Well,
the
I don't
way it
know. Why
is.
don't you make a show about it?
Aren't you clever?
I am. I can't do the zoom in though, nor a face like in Control, so we'll just move on. Tyler, you're gonna
I'll
give
get him
some
next time.
thoughts.
On Abyssal Caverns?
Indeed.
Yeah, same as Dan. It's
You're a
like,
bastard, man. You never had an original thought. That's why I ask you first.
yeah, well, let's move
Well,
on
if you
to
ask
another
him
map.
first.
Ask me. Talk to me about Searing Crater and how good force fields are on there in PvZ.
Why?
Oh,
What?
hold it.
What? I'm asking Searing Crater, man.
Well,
Yeah, well, that's a real deep analysis. Like, there's a lot of ramps and small chokes, so force fields and stuff.
Yeah, actually, I've been playing a lot recently. I think everyone has that thumbs down, all the Zergs, because I only hit Terrans or Protosses there. So
3 ramps into the expansion area, which then has like a partition in the middle of it. Really cute.
Do you like that? Greg, do you like that map?
What
Is that
the
your
fuck?
favorite?
I actually have all of them vetoed except Antigua, but the lava one was just absolutely awful. I played like 2 games on that. Was like never again.
Should we just move on and talk about Antigua? Because I think we're
no,
just
I like the other one
There's
too, man.
Abyssal Caverns.
talked about
No,
that.
wait, nope.
There's some
Nope.
crypts.
Nerazim
Forget
Crypt?
Nerazim Crypt.
Come on,
This
Jeff.
one, I feel like
Which one are we talking about?
this
Nerazim Crypt.
might have
It's
taken
like teaching 4-year-olds.
20.
Which one are we talking about?
Nerazim Crypt.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
feel like this probably took about 26 minutes to make. and here's the thing. I want to know how serious they are about map making. Like, did a guy throw this blueprint up on a wall, and there's like an office full of people, and he's like, all right, so you got your base here, and your base here, and your base here, and then there's naturals. And in the middle of the map, now hang on, here's where we get them, okay? 4 towers. 4 towers of vision. Yeah. And get this, there's ramps leading up to them, so they're like by themselves. It's like a tower with a ramp. Anything else? No, that's it. It's just got natural bases, and we do need some fucking rocks. That's where they got it too. That's my favorite part. They
And they got rocks in the choke.
They go, you know what, son of a bitch, we need rocks on this map.
Aren't they just so odd? They just like so out of place.
And here's the part. I've actually brought this up in like 3 shows, and there's always like 5 guys in the chat who are like,
What it does is it either widens the frontal area to the natural expansion, or it closes it. When it's closed down, you can block it for fast expansions, but when it's open, you're much more vulnerable to attack. In what scenario does that ever fucking help you? Like, you don't come down your base and go, shit, he destroyed the rocks. Oh no!
Maybe a roachling all in. I could actually see that mattering.
At what point in time does the Zerg kill the rocks before it gets to that point, though?
No, you kill them when you're sitting
Look,
out there
it's
dancing
so
around
wide
drawing
even with
force
the
fields.
rocks. I don't know, man. Unless you want to build 2 cannons.
Yeah, they should have force fields at that time.
Yeah, you
You
dance
know
and
what,
drop
Greg?
force fields.
Actually, you should do that. I think that would be a winning strategy.
You're such a nerd. I don't have anything wrong with that map. Third bases are weird. That's the only thing I've really come up with. But I don't know. I don't look at that map and thumbs down it. I'm still playing it. I still have to play it more to really know. But I don't actually have that much wrong with it.
What is?
Fucking Phoenix
He's
from
trying,
West.
trying to be all dramatic. Just let him have his fun.
Then he doesn't do anything. He's like, shit.
Greg, why Antigua? Why do you keep that one not?
It's
Budo?
used in the Korean leagues, and it's actually just like a big normal macro map. Like it's actually a decent map. There's nothing wrong with it. The center is kind of fucked up. Like taking the golds is incredibly vulnerable.
TT1's watching, by the way. And TT1, proving my point, he didn't do it in the chat, but he posted on the forum, in control, the rocks on Nerism Crypt are so that you can do a 3-building wall off. Like, that's what I said. I know that.
You got you, man. Tyler, you got any thoughts on Antigua?
It's a good map. I like it. I think you know.
Tyler's like the friendliest neighbor that... You guys talking StarCraft? Yeah. Yeah, I like that map too.
I mean, the golds are supposed to be vulnerable. I like these golds, but you don't have to take them. That's the nice thing. I like Zelnaga, the way you have to choose between the gold and the normal third base. That's a little bit of a weird choice for me, but on this map, I like it more. You could actually take that gold as a third base in some situations, even though you have this other third that's so much easier to take. So I think that's cool. But yeah, it's a well-designed, good basic macro map, whereas like Nerism Crypt is like a really boring... Like, you can also take your third pretty easily on Nerism Crypt, not as easily, but it's just a boring
Well, this
map.
is like the easiest third I've ever seen, and whenever I look at this map, I just think about siege tanks, and I think of all the funny places I'd put them, and just easily take 3 bases, then easily take a gold. I don't know. I think it'll encourage mech play a lot.
You were onto something. That map, as it was released, was actually broken. From the third to the main, a Terran could siege the gases on those bases, which was flashes of early Lost Temple for any Brood War fans in the audience.
They patched that?
I believe they patched it. I don't know that they have, because obviously I haven't had too much of an issue with that, but we definitely had Machine playing in a clan war, and he started getting hit by a tank there, and it was fun watching his brow furrow and be like, but that shouldn't be right. Say it's not so, and then it was.
Poor Machine. Let's move on from the maps and talk about...
Oh, they didn't patch it, someone said in the chat. It just... Some custom mapper just made a new one for Blizzard, but of course that's not being used in the ladder, I don't think.
Oh. Well, I know what I'll be doing later in my TV whatever matchups. Let's talk about MLG Raleigh and the groups. Pool A, Artosis, you told me this was going to be the most stacked group at the tournament. I will link... Okay, guys, I'm going to link you to it. Don't worry.
I didn't even ask that. I already have that open. Thank you.
He knows this very well.
I like see
I don't
everyone's
have-
face.
go ahead,
They're just
Mike.
like scrambling across the screen. Pool A, Naniwal, Huck, In Control, Rain, and Coca. In Control, as always. You almost would have had a group to yourself without any teammates, but you had to go and recruit Huck, man.
Well, that's like a minor point as far as I'm concerned. That is
actually the scariest. I mean, that's like the group is designed to crush my spirits.
Yeah.
Koka is like an amazing ZVP sniper, and he plays like kind of an obscure style, but he does it extremely well. Then there's Rain, who, you know, he's pretty good. I'm not necessarily. I mean, he's fucking awesome. Like he had a tear through MLG Anaheim, but
yeah.
PvP is definitely my worst matchup. And Huck, there was a show, I can't remember, it was a while ago, someone said, who's your nemesis? And I had to say Huck, not because I'm competitive with the guy. I like never beat him. He always beats me PvP. And he does it with like a smirk on his face, and like he's like his legs crossed, but he's just like reading my mind the whole time. Like we had to play for 2 show matches in a row when I was in Korea, and he was doing like the most trollish builds. Not because like they were like direct counters to everything I was doing. He was like so far inside my head that him and I were sharing thoughts, but his were always better. So that's terrifying. And then there's Naniwa, who is just rock solid. So I'm definitely going to be working with Axlab for the next week and a half. I'm working on my Blink Stalker micro and shit. I'm watching all their matches. I definitely watched all of Huck's games in the GSL. And it was, a little sad because he was really, really fucking good.
You saw the games last night against Killer.
Yeah, it was great. He played amazing.
I don't actually have the GSL stuff in here. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? I totally forgot.
Yeah, but let me talk more about why I'm going to die.
I totally forgot GSL's a thing, Jeff. It's like actually a tournament that's going on and shit.
They do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the other nice thing about this too, though, is it's like if you want to do well in StarCraft 2, you have to beat really good people. And the one MLG I did do really well in, a lot of people like to cite that it wasn't the toughest group. So if I need these kind of tests, and if I get my ass handed to me again, it's another learning experience, and so be it. But my mission is to become good enough to beat these guys, so I'll work as hard as I can. But I would not predict me to win this group. I shouldn't be the favorite.
Going out on a limb there.
The nice thing is, though,
so humble.
We'll reverse troll this. Every single time I'm the severe underdog, every fucking time everyone says I'm going to get my ass handed to me, I do okay. I'm kind of the underdog guy, so we'll see.
See how it goes.
Hopefully they really don't train for me, and then I'll just like pull out Terran or some shit. Run out these super awesome builds that only a Protoss player could think of.
Well, there you go.
I'm like walking a Thor down with a bunch of Marauders guarding and shit. It's like Stalker Colossus.
Now, Greg, Pool B is yourself, Show, Hey Pro, Machine, and Bomber. Is Bomber the only one that scares you in that group?
ZVZ, there's some build order stuff, but Hey Pro and Machine are both pretty straight up macro players, so unless Machine trying gets cutesy, it shouldn't be a big a threat. And the Show,
he is
very
cutesy.
comfortable over Show. But yeah, Bomber, I think by far the hardest of the Korean invites. Him and Dong Ringu, the 2 strongest Koreans there, along with Puma. So he'll be very tough. The other ones I'm not too worried about. I'd say first and second, whoever wins between me and Bomber. And the nice thing is I do have DeMuslim here. I have like a week, 2 weeks to just play nothing but ZVT. And then we're going to have Puma come over right after IM and practice in the house with us. So I should be relatively well prepared for that match. And if I beat Bomber, I definitely think I'll take first in the group.
Now, you'll actually be going up against Bomber the first match of the entire tournament. It's streamed, I think it's going to be on the Red stream. So
yeah.
I think actually every tournament, you've been the first game to be streamed, right?
No, last time I think I was the second.
Okay.
Yeah, they put the 400
Well, JP. Didn't have to go too far back to find out that you were wrong.
This is true. I knew he was up there, though. Anyways.
I think it's been every turn. Greg's very scientific mind is like, no, last one I didn't.
We had you against MC, the one before that. So.
Yeah, I was the second match last time. You're that far off.
Yeah. It was close, Jeff. You gotta give me that.
I'm teasing, man. You're always right in my book.
I know. Thank you. Pool C's got to have Slush, Select, Tilo, Dongrigu, and Trickster was the announced Korean. This was announced last week.
Slush will get top 10.
You think?
What? No.
He does it like every time, man.
Yeah, but he's usually not.
Nobody ever fixed it. I'm gonna break the cycle. Slush top 10, easy.
He's usually not in the group with Select, Dongrigu, and Trickster.
He fucking beat Moon and Naniwa, man. People make excuses. The guy.
I don't know about
makes
Naniwa,
results.
but the games versus Moon were silly. He's not. No.
Every game against Moon's silly because Moon's a silly player. But
yeah, but Moon's not.
Slush is
Moon's just
10
not that
times
caliber
sillier than
player.
Moon. Let's
So imagine how silly that matchup was, Dan. They were like
I
clown
asked
fans.
that match, man. It
That
was
was the one
silly.
where Baneling Bombs worked, and then he lost anyway.
Yeah, that was a
That was
beautiful
pretty
game.
cool.
Just say it, man. You say it. Slush, top 10.
Everyone's face just has disgust on it right now, except for Jeff's.
Look, people are going to figure out that you make a medium amount of workers, and then you just defend, and then Slush is going to stop winning, and that's it.
You want to know what's actually happening here? Slush is one of the guys I beat at MLG, and he's now having high degrees of success, so I need to talk him up
Gotcha.
to Nartosis. So.
It's an artist.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
I shouldn't make so many inside jokes. No one's going to get that. Damn it.
Dan, talk to me about Trickster.
Dude, sometimes he comes out with builds that are like really well done and really technical, and some really nice orders every now and then. And then sometimes he plays like he played last night in the GSL, which was like a travesty of terrible. It was I mean, if you have an observer and you get an observer, you literally get your robo to get an observer to scout. Shouldn't you use that information as opposed to unuse it? Like, he literally, the first game last night, he goes into his opponent's base with the observer and sees that it's 2 reactor barracks, a tech lab barracks, and a factory. So it's a marine siege tank all in. Big time. So what counters that? Well, apparently Tester thinks that it's stalkers and a nexus, which of course is the absolute worst idea I've ever seen. It's like, and then the other game he played was really sloppy and a lot of big mistakes in it. So sometimes he plays terrible like that, but then in other games he looks really, really good. So I have no idea what Tester's actually going to show up, and that's a hard group anyways. I mean, Don Gregu and Select, I think, can both beat him at his best or his worst. So he's the wild card. I think Select and Don Gregu are the ones most likely to move on, but Tester absolutely can beat them if he brings his best game.
Pool D's going to have Kiwikaki, Rhett, Sheth, Moonin, and Nada. Tyler, how do you think your 2 teammates are going to do there?
This is not a bad group for them.
It's a great group for Red.
Yeah, I think it's not that unlikely that Red or Sheth win it. I mean, of course, you got to respect Nada, but it's a pretty good group. I mean, they can beat Kiwikaki and Moonin, and either of them can beat Nada in a best of 3.
Is Nada's TVZ any good?
Nada in general hasn't seemed that great.
Yeah, he's just kind of solid.
Yeah.
If Rhett plays like he played at the European Invitational, did we talk about that yet, by the way? The European Battle.net Invitational?
I believe I threw it to you a little bit.
I don't think we really care about the
We didn't
Europeans,
really.
do we?
Okay.
Like, do they,
Well, anyways, if Rhett
I'm
plays
kidding.
like he played in that, I mean, I think he'll take the group, man. He's looking really, really strong.
monster mode. That group's really good for him, in my opinion. I think.
Yeah.
Like I say it, but I always want to hold back because we went into the last one. And we're like, Boxer's the most beatable Korean. These Koreans turn it on for MLG, man. They become monsters.
I feel like that the crowd really actually changes their play. I mean, Boxer said it on stage, but I felt like it's actually true.
Well, they have to go in it with a lot of confidence and be comfortable too. And in my experience, a player that's comfortable and confident is. I mean, this is not going to be an overwhelming point, but it's like they're a million times harder than somebody who's not quite sure what they're doing.
I'm actually waiting for Nada to turn it on because, in every interview, Koreans will be like, I want to do better for my fans. I want to win. It's my goal. And then I hear through, the back sources and stuff and from various players and other people who's actually playing and who's actually not. And I've heard that Nada actually really wants a big championship in StarCraft 2. He wants a title. And I've heard that he's playing a lot. I haven't heard that for a couple months now. I haven't really asked about him recently, but if that's true, I mean, eventually he's just going to pop up and own. He might. Who knows what it is that's keeping him back so far? But I know for a while there he was actually training pretty hard.
If anything, it feels like his play has dropped off. Really, I don't know. He just hasn't.
Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't. No one's told me that he was training hard for like 2 months now. So
He was at Assembly, right?
Yeah, he lost some mana.
yeah, that was a weird tournament, man.
Got 2-0'd by Mana. Man.
Elfie took
He
him
lost
out
to
too.
Elfie?
Yeah, Elfie
I
too.
thought
I
Mana
think
beat
it
him.
was. Well, he did too,
Elfie's
but in
Mana?
group play. In group
Oh,
play,
okay.
Elfie's
I was
like
gonna say.
70 APM random. What the?
Well,
fuck?
he had some cute builds and stuff, and Nada just kind of died. It was like, what?
That sucks.
Hmm.
Why was that tournament weird, Artosis? Just because of how the results
Well,
were?
like Huck and Nada and MC all like didn't
Wait,
win and
MC
stuff.
was at that tournament?
Yeah, wasn't he? Am I like
I don't
completely
think so.
insane?
Which one?
Oh, no, I have to look
Assembly?
now.
I know Nada was there. I don't think they sent MC though. I don't think SK did.
There was
it's
someone
just
else there that
Nada.
was really good that I was expecting to.
Sen?
I don't know.
So,
Oh, was
Sen
it
was
Sen?
there, but it was. I don't think I think there's only one Korean. It was just
yeah,
Yeah, it was
I'm
just
pretty
Nada.
sure it was only Nada.
Nada and Sen were the Asian men.
Well, while Artosis is furrowing his brow, and I
Okay,
can't
yeah,
actually
there
say it.
was Sen was the other player that was really good there. Yeah, that was it was an odd tournament, man.
Well, MLG will be kicking off next Friday at 5. I can't believe it's already a week away. These two events were like incredibly,
I know.
almost too close together.
Almost.
Almost, one might say that. But then we have a month off, so that's good. But then October is going to be crazy with all the tournaments. But anyways, let's talk about the IEM. What is the name? This I can never actually figure out the
Gamescom.
name.
Cologne.
Cologne. They always have the same name though. It's just the 2011 version, right?
Yeah.
The Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge Cologne.
Yeah, global.
We have to
Global
actually call it
Challenge
Cologne
is
for the rest of the cast, by the way.
JP,
so-
if you wouldn't have said that, it would have worked. There
No, we
would
just have to
been
keep
angry
going.
Europeans.
No,
well,
they're still going to be angry.
all right. You just think they didn't hear us right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
This actually didn't happen, Jeff. Let's move on. Let's talk about the groups there. Group A is going to have Koss, Beastie Cutie, MC, and Killer.
It's Cologne, Denmark, right?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. It's
Or
all.
is it Switzerland?
I mean, Europe's all
Is
the
that-
same place, anyways.
I
But
think it's
It's in Europe, man. What the hell? Europe.
The
You don't know
United
anything,
States
Jeff.
of Europe, yeah. UAU, yeah.
Yeah.
UAE, yeah.
Koss, Beastie Cutie, MC, Killer. I think MC and Koss probably the two easy picks there in Group A.
Yeah, BCQT is supposed to be like a TBT ace, and Cass always has most of the time has problems offline. So wouldn't be too surprised if BCQT actually beat him.
Yeah, but even if he does, I mean, Killer is supposedly coming
they're all
up.
gonna
I haven't
lose.
seen his games. I don't know.
No.
Eh.
No.
I think it'll be Cass and MC. That's like kind of an easy call.
Group B, Zaka, Dystar, Select, Killer, and a second Killer in the tournament. That's going to be confusing. I hope there's a Killer versus
Interesting,
Killer match.
2 people picked unoriginal names.
I know. It's Xbox Live all over again. Who's going to make it out of there? Select, or that's actually kind of. I
I'd
heard
say
Dystar's
Select.
pretty
That's
good, right?
hard, man.
I heard Dystar's actually pretty good too, right?
It's a
I
good
don't know.
group for Zake. Zake loves his PvT, and he tends to do okay in PvP. I mean, that's the matchup he'll tell you he loses every time. And he does lose silly ones, but I think it's pretty good for him.
I think Select will
It's
definitely
good
come
for
out of
Select,
there.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's not
Select
too
can
easy.
toss up between Sake and Killer.
I think Select actually wins that group, and then I think Killer or Sake and Sake. I don't think Dystar really has a chance to get out of there.
Group C, Tarson, Nurchio, Moonglade, Huck. Nurchio, Huck.
Well, Nurture, this is a second offline event, and he kind of sucked at the last one. So
I thought he did
I'd
good
say-
at NASL. Is that
He
the
didn't go to
last?
NASL. He went to.
Who was the
what was
Zerg
it?
that was at NASL?
Dark Force you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Sorry. That you. I
No,
actually. am
Nurchio
wrong.
went to the Blizzard EU invite. He lost. He won one series and lost the other two unimpressively. I'd say Tarson and Huck from there.
That's a hard one. I mean, Tarson versus Nurchio is pretty close. Moonglade, where has he been really? He kind of fell off the map.
Yeah.
I have no idea. So I don't think Moonglade's going to have a shot because I haven't seen him around at all. But obviously, I think out of Huck, Tarson, Nurchio, any two could make it out. But of course, Huck is the one that's favored here. But
Group D, Stefanos.
Huck's traveling a lot lately, so
I think Group D seems like the most stacked. Stefano, Sase, Mana, Mono, whatever, and Puma. Puma definitely, but Sase's been doing pretty good as well recently. But I don't know too much about Stefano. What do you guys think?
well,
Stefano's
everyone
really good.
Stefano's
yeah,
good.
everyone says he's quite good, and I mean his games have been pretty good lately that I've seen. I would say Puma for certain gets
Yeah.
out of there.
Yeah.
He's actually
Any
like,
of the other three could actually win that, but yeah, Puma.
if
Yeah.
Puma plays his best, I see him winning this tournament. But yeah, I don't know. That's actually a hard group to predict. That's actually the good group right there.
Is that
Yeah.
the group of death
Yeah,
at the event?
That's definitely the group of death. Yeah.
I think Stefano's known for his ZVT more than his ZVP, and I don't think he'll beat Puma anyway, so that's kind of a bad group for him. I don't know. But Sase struggles PVZ relatively, and Mana used to. I don't know if he still does. That's a real toss-up. Any of the foreigners could make it.
Mana's off and on, kind of. I don't know. Some games, I look at him, I'm like, what are you doing? In other games, he's like, oh, you're really good.
Well, I Am Cologne is going to be starting in 3 hours and 12 minutes, so you can...
Oh, sick.
check
Oh,
out
I'm going to
some-
be at work.
Is that-
That sucks.
Is that Nordic time, or I think they're Netherlands has a different time zone, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's actually just confusing to me. I actually turned around.
You guys are the worst.
I was going to try to steal this joke from chat, but I just can't do it. But it's actually funny. Europe's a city in England, right? So we should have said that, Jeff. That's the go-to joke next time. Remember that one.
We need to get better at this, though, because you can actually get severe responses out of people if you pretend to not know anything about Europe.
Well, we're going to get... I almost feel like we're going to get lackluster response out of this. Let's talk about Huck going to EG. Jeff, IdrA, you guys already kind of talked about it. I guess the one that a lot of people are wanting to hear from is a TL player. So, Tyler, I'm asking you first, man. You're a TL player, Artosis. That's actually another announcement coming out later, like 2 weeks. But Tyler, talk to me about Huck leaving, man.
Well, I mean, it's competitive. Like, between the teams, who's going to be on, which player is going to be on which team. I don't know if there's that much loyalty in general. I think loyalty to a team is rare, actually. So I think people should expect every single time a contract is up that a player just kind of talks to everyone, and whichever team is going to offer them something that they're comfortable with and is the best offer, then that's probably what's going to happen. Now, Huck, he had loyalty to TL, but EG was offering a really good deal, and so it was a very tough decision for him. And he was very upfront with everyone, collected as much advice as he could, and tried his best to make the best decision possible. And he ended up going. But, from any perspective, I guess there's some disappointment from TL, but there's no, bad feelings at all from anyone that I know of. I mean, obviously we would rather him stay, and he became, a good player that won the first MLG event, but a wild card. Is this guy actually going to be one of the best players in the world? To, with his year with TL, to that guy that's, one of the best players in the world. And then he moves on. But that's just the nature of the scene. I have no ill feelings about that, and my advice to him was to go with EG, based on what I had heard.
Yeah,
and that's just too bad. It's kind of a bummer.
Now, was that? I don't want you to. It's kind of weird. I don't want you to speak for anyone else, but I actually kind of want you to. Is that kind of overall thoughts from the rest of Team Liquid? Was there anyone that was really against it that you can actually talk about?
Well, I talked to Chris, and I didn't really talk to other people about it. So I don't really know what people recommended to him. But yeah, I mean, EG is powerful, and TL is just getting set up. I mean, we establish ourselves very quickly, but even though we have a long history as a clan from StarCraft 1, that's very different from running a sponsored professional team, which we just started. I mean, this was our first team that we put together in our first year that we put together, and it takes time to get sponsors, and it takes time to build power in the scene. It takes time to get a ton of money to do whatever you want. And so we're still building up to be able to do what we want, and we're not there yet.
Yeah. I will say, before we kind of get everyone else's thoughts, I was actually, and I'm not shitting on EG or anything, I was just actually incredibly impressed with Team Liquid actually the staff members that I did talk to today, a lot of them were actually emotionally kind of not disturbed, but I don't know what the word is. They were very emotional about the whole thing when I brought it up with them. So that was very interesting to me because I've obviously been kind of around in esports a lot. I've seen a lot of teams and a lot of players switch hands, but they're one of the few teams that kind of felt like they were actually losing. I guess I'm gonna sound sappy, but losing like a friend out of that team. So that was actually respectable for me. But Artosis, what are your thoughts on it? Then we'll get Jeff and Greg's as well.
I could see them being a little bit sad about it and everything. You know, Huck's really good. He's a cool guy. He's marketable. But more than that, they put him into Korea at a very prime time. And obviously that's why he's so godly right now. Well, he's been working his ass off over there, of course. But they did give him that opportunity when no one else was giving that opportunity. And off of that, he's made himself a huge career now. And, I mean, I don't think it's bad at all that he went to EG. You have to, as you grow and outgrow a team, you have to go and build yourself up. So if his deal was so much better that he had to go to EG, I think it's fine. I don't think anyone should be mad at him. This is what happens. He has to go to who he thinks is right for him. He can't just stay loyal forever and pass up great opportunities that are going to support him better.
Jeff, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's rough. I've seen players leave teams, in Brood War and stuff. Of course, it was for much smaller deals, and it was usually someone leaving a team to go join Templars of Twilight for no salary at all, but just the prestige, and of course, not the same degree. I think part of the reason why in this scene it's a little bit harder is because if you're on one of these top teams, you're at LANs with the guys all the time, year long. So there's the Tyler moment in the booth. There's Team Liquid picking up Huck. If you're really serious about the game, you do go to Korea. So there's Team Liquid sending Huck to Korea. Like there's connectivity to that player. There's investment. There's certain degrees of like friendship. Hopefully, if you spend that kind of time with the person. So like if IdrA were to be given a huge contract and go off somewhere, I would be heartbroken. It would be really, really tough. And there's that aspect of it, but there's also the kind of cool aspect of it that this game's excelling to a point where it's like players are getting recognized for that stuff. Like Huck's not getting paid the big bucks because he's the son of some owner at Blizzard or something like that. He's actually earned this reputation. He's a huge superstar and he's an amazing player, and he got offered a deal he couldn't refuse. And there's going to be more of that, and not necessarily just EG. It's going to be other teams talking to players saying, "Hey, you could strengthen our label. We want to talk to you." And it's going to suck on the one hand, but I hope most people see that for the most part, it's really exciting and it's development growth in this game and in this sport that we need to become legitimate. Like, you're not a multinational $1 million organization, huge market, huge sport, and players just stick on teams because they're on that team. Like, you need people to move around for business decisions so that everybody else can grow as well. So for the game, I'm excited. For me personally, obviously, I'm selfishly very excited. I've gotten to watch Huck kick a lot of ass with Team Liquid. Now he's going to do it for EG, so it's going to be awesome.
I keep hearing, for example, Nazgul saying, I think it was Nazgul saying, life-changing money. Everyone's saying a ton of money. Are we ever going to be able to hear what that actual value is? If it's 6-digit, if it's 5-digit, what? I mean,
the most information I can give you is that there's been whisperings that some of these contracts would be made public.
Yeah.
And what's being discussed right now is, are people prepared to hear that? Because nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
It would be like, how much IdrA makes and how much Huck makes, but you don't know how much anybody else makes. So is that fair to those two guys, that everybody knows exactly what they're getting paid, when you then weigh that against everything else? And I think right now the answer is no.
Right.
So people will just have to let their imaginations run wild, but I can just tell you, it is life-sustaining money. You can pay for your life doing this. And as a guy who played Brood War, I mean, I don't have the sob story that Artos does. That guy slept on frickin' floors in Korea, man. He's actually way more hardcore than I am.
I slept on the floor. I slept on a mattress.
He slept in the same room as
there's-
Puerto Rican. He slept in the same room as Puerto Rican.
There's going to be one of those scumbag Reddit posts about Artosis pretty soon. Thanks, Greg.
But dude, like, we've come a long, 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 long way. And I remember coaching for $10. I remember getting really excited about some random team that wanted to pay me in Brewer $100 a month, and that was like 15 crates of ramen for me in college. So it was like ridiculously awesome. Probably a lot more than 15 crates. I probably did that numbering pretty wrong, but it's big money and it's cool. It's really cool that we're in that field now.
I wish it was all public, though. I would.
You do?
I
You
mean,
want public?
I recognize the problem that you pointed out.
Do you think it would
But I wish
alleviate
it was all public.
all of the
I think it's an interesting
naysayers?
topic. We should absolutely talk about it.
not at
Because
all.
there's pros and cons.
You're always going to get people who are saying,
Well, haters are
fight
gonna
over
hate,
money,
but-
which is just stupid.
Well,
I think it would be good though, because we're getting to the point where it's like the amount of money will impress people.
Yeah,
And
for mainstream.
it makes esports
Like,
more
yeah.
legitimate, more respectable, more awesome.
well, that may be true, but you have to look back. I'm a little bit scared about stuff like that happening because there's a lot of big egos. And what if someone sees that IdrA's getting this amount, and this player's been doing better than IdrA? Now he's going to demand that. And what if we have another bubble burst like we had in Warcraft 3 back?
Yeah, that's true.
Way back.
That's the
Warcraft
team's
3 was
responsibility. I
well.
think.
Well, it's a cultural thing too, though. It definitely
Yeah,
happens, Greg.
Way back Warcraft 3, I mean, Moon and Grubby were making like way too much money, more than they should, and it just teams bankrupted themselves because that's what you needed to do to have them, and then they realized, oh my god, this actually isn't a good investment, and it kind of screwed up esports a little bit, and I don't know that would happen again, but
Ben,
I don't know. It's
salaries in
hard to say.
Warcraft.
What did he say?
10K.
He's just
each.
giving numbers.
Yeah, they were making
numbers
about
out.
10K each month. So, I mean, what if that were to happen again? What if there's Damaga's over in Europe? He's like, well, I'm winning tournaments. IdrA isn't. Why am I not getting, however much IdRA's getting? And
What if StarCraft 2 became Warcraft 3?
I like the head adjust every time.
It goes too high.
If I don't know if it's made public, I don't know. I
What
guess
are the
it
pros
could
of
be.
it? I mean, Greg brought up legitimacy.
I feel like
it's
that's
something that
almost-
it's mainstay
I think
it's
that is
practice
the
in,
main
Yeah,
in,
that's
in
the
top
biggest
net
one.
sports, right? Like when
It-
A-Rod
it-
signs, everyone knows.
What if
around
it?
Yep.
What if it? Yeah, that's that's a really good point. All these other sports do. In fact, StarCraft 1 did it in Korea. They released the salaries of everyone, and it was fine. But what if, for instance, Jeff, you're on the same team as these two guys? What if you look at their salary compared to yours, and you're like, you know what, my finishes aren't that much worse. Where's my money? And I mean, is this going to demotivate or upset? I don't know.
That
what
was
it'll
kind
do
of the
to,
next
like, the
question.
lower-rung
If anything,
pros.
I think having that much money out there, knowing what's
Is it
available,
gonna motivate you, Jeff?
motivate you. I
would think so, but
I would.
I don't know.
Well,
you
let
have to
Jeff
understand
is
there's
gonna
like a
motivate.
realism that approaches this. Like, I don't look at IdrA and think I deserve anywhere near that much money. I don't have the results for that. I'm not as good of a player as that. But to your point, when salaries are known, and this is one of the other issues, because I've actually talked about this with management and other people. That is one of the issues. Is, let's say Greg goes in this huge slump and just keeps losing to Chef every time they play, and then DeMuslim starts rising up, starts winning. But DeMuslim signed out through the year for like a tiny portion of the salary, and he knows exactly how much IdrA's making. That does spark, like, they start to go, hey, like, this is not fair. I'm being underappreciated. So teams, that is the concern, because it is awesome that this big wads of cash are being thrown around and people are being acquired, but it's not infinite, right? Like, so if every player starts to think that they deserve that much, that's that bubble in Warcraft 3.
That exists in real sports too, and I think you guys kind of underestimate the intelligence of the teams, because if the team sees that, realizes that the Muslim's a really valuable asset, then they approach him, they say, we want to renegotiate and extend your contract before you're out on the open market. We'll give you more money, and we get a little loyalty, you get a little cut in price in return. That's just kind of how things work. Or otherwise, he can wait out his contract and then go up for bidding. And in the same way, teams have to realize that if they contribute to that bubble, if they overpay, then they're going to be doing themselves a disservice in the long run. And you can get situations like you got in Warcraft with MYM and shit, but that was a lot less developed. There was a lot less money in the scene than there is now.
Of course.
They couldn't justify that. Now I think you kind of can.
Yeah, you can definitely justify it a lot better, but how would this affect you, Greg? Let's say your amount of money gets out there, and Hux gets out there, and as you just said, there's a finite amount of money, and let's say you two eat up all of EG's real budget, and then everyone else on your team that you're playing with in the house all the time see that and say,
kill
you know
you in
what,
your
you
sleep.
guys need to take less so that we can get some. This isn't fair. You guys wouldn't be as good without practicing with us. What is the deal here?
Honestly, I think everyone here knows either what I make or ballpark, and no one seems to have a problem with it. I don't know. But we are a really friendly team in a different team that could be a problem. I guess so.
I mean, you guys are old friends, so it's different.
I know exactly how much everyone makes, and it's like completely fine with me. So I mean, it is team to team, and to Greg's point, you would think that teams would have the business sense to know that if the salaries kept going that way, they'd have to do something against it. But there is the Warcraft 3 model, and that does bother me. There is the arms race for grabbing the people, and in this game especially, because it is such a new market, nobody's going to take a pay cut. You know what I mean? Like no next salary for Huck or IdrA is going to be less. It's not. It's always going to go up, right? So that is something to be conscientious of.
I mean, the thing is, for me, is like, if people get what they deserve, then that's better. So if you have more information out there, and people aren't stupid with what they do with that information, and salaries get, adjusted, so maybe one guy makes less and another guy makes more. If it turns out that, people are getting what they deserve, then it's better. And if you don't know what people make, then it's just like, if one guy just, if no one knows what Huck makes, and then, someone else goes out and wins a couple of huge tournaments, is like, okay, well, now I'm reaching Huck level. What do I demand from teams?
That's true.
And
it's
not
actually
about
know what to do.
Yeah, it's not about getting more money than you deserve. It's about getting what you deserve. So I'm not saying you're trying to take advantage of teams and trying to make them go under, and you just run out with the cash while they go bankrupt and you sign with someone else. It's just it would be better for the scene, for the people getting views on esports and growing esports, to be getting the money, and then the people that are shit and not really contributing to the industry, they don't get anything. And we need the info out there to facilitate that.
I like that point of view, actually. I think that's probably the best one I've heard.
Mr. Scoots is giving me a good perspective too. He's saying that the ROI for these salaries in StarCraft 2 is unprecedented. It wasn't there in Warcraft 3, right?
Oh,
so,
of course, yeah. I don't want to actually compare it, but I'm just saying it's kind of this, what if
there's more events, I think Heart of the Swarm, and then whatever the fuck in the Void, like, these things are going to be giant shots in the arm that are going to, like,
whatever the fuck.
Something's in the Void, man. I don't know. It's out there.
Bigger, but
something's in the Void. It's called Protoss starts winning. It's going to happen in 4 years.
Yay!
The Super Colossus man with wings is going to be amazing.
I think it would be cool if all the teams made that public.
They'd have to make like a...
I think that could be good for the community overall.
A convention, a con, it would be like... SE...
What's the name of that terrible organization that the teams made in Counter-Strike? What was that called? The Big Seven or something like that? G7, there you go. I don't know, man.
Or you weirdo.
We should ask Scoots about the G7.
It's like completely arbitrary from what I understand.
Yeah, I know. From everything I've heard,
they would agree and then pass laws, but then I guess a couple of the teams were like, "We've decided you need to do this," and they're like, "No." Nothing happened. Yeah. But I agree. Like, it can't just be IdrA and Huck.
Well,
I would not watch.
Why not release all the salaries for everyone?
That's a good.
Why not? Just so everyone can see where everyone is, and I think that esports, and especially StarCraft 2 right now, is big enough to handle it.
Yeah.
Unlike in Warcraft 3, where it was like, this is a shitty game, but it's the only 1v1 in esports right now because its graphics are actually okay. So I think they could probably handle it, and if everyone knew everyone's things, like Tyler was saying, everyone would. If it normalized,
Yeah, I feel like there needs to be a standard, and if you did something like that, then it would start to... I mean, because I don't think... I feel like that's just going to become more and more common in esports as the year or as the months pass, that we're going to see more and more players getting these grandiose salaries, however big IdrAs and Hucks and whoever else out there has a huge salary. I mean, White Raw is self-sponsored. We have a ton of players out there who might be getting...
Team Grubby.
Yeah, he might be...
Grubby's probably not getting paid too non-grubby.
You didn't zoom in, man. Roll
Grubby
it back.
Grubby's probably not getting paid to non-grubby.
There you go.
I don't get it. Okay.
So I asked Scoots if he wanted to come in and drop the salaries. He said nope, but he also said fuck the G7. So
Yeah.
Those are,
Good
what I
thoughts on
hear.
that, Scott.
those are his thoughts.
And now Scott, thoughts on the G7. Fuck the G7. Thanks, Scott. Over to JP.
Thank you. I feel like that needed to be said.
It's like the guy from Family Guy. What's the weather? Raining cats dogs. Thank you.
That's actually the funniest part of Family Guy, now that I think about that. Let's talk about some other weird shit, especially money. League of Legends announced today $5 million for Season 2. What?
That's
Why
awesome.
not 5 million more? Why not 10 million?
Because the marketing budget doesn't have that much money? I don't...
Yeah, right.
Is that absurd, or is that absurd? Like...
League of Legends you can just download for free though, right?
Yes, it's... Well,
Yeah.
How do they...
the game is
How does
free to
this work?
download, but it's like
it's
a
dirty,
fuck ton
man.
to actually play. Like, you have to buy
No.
your characters.
StarCraft
No,
Heart of
you
Storm.
don't. You don't.
You can make
but
Marines, but then you have to pay a certain price to make Marauders and shit.
You can buy, like, different skins and stuff for Artosis. You don't have to,
Yeah,
but it actually
it's
speeds the process
cosmetic.
up. Yeah.
for the most part.
It's a lot of cosmetic stuff.
Oh, okay, like microtransactions or something like that.
It actually is like the game that I feel like mastered microtransactions. Like, it's absurd.
Oh, okay.
How much shit you
Cool.
can actually buy from that.
Well, it's
Maybe
great though,
pay
man.
LOL.
Why not throw a lot of money into some game if people like it? I know LoL has great numbers, so go for
Yeah,
it. I mean,
listen to these numbers. I told these Artosis earlier, and it was actually incredible. Over 1.4 million players log in each day. There's been 15 million registers accounts between North American and EU servers. The peak concurrency is 500,000 players. And the official League of Legends site's at 6 million a day, and the YouTube videos have nearly 100 million views. At the same time, it kind of tying into that, right now on YouTube, Dota 2 Gamescom trailer, a 2-minute video, it's been up one day, it already has 1.13 million views, and it's the most viewed video on YouTube. Where are these?
1.13 million, you said?
Yeah.
well, like
on
most
YouTube
million
today.
No, it's not just million. You mean
No,
are you
like
trying to
today. That's what I'm saying. Today, it's the most viewed video on YouTube, but
today?
it's a video game.
Well, wait till Husky releases a music video.
Yeah, man.
He doesn't get that
Seriously,
much.
the YouTube
man.
hits.
Oh wait, no, he
still
actually does get that
Husky
much.
has a
but
100
still.
million hit.
Go to the #1 subscribed YouTuber,
What's like 60 billion? It's Lady
and then I
Gaga
want
or
you to
some shit.
understand how little YouTube means to me.
But still, where's
No,
where's the
it's
where's the
actually-
StarCraft
actually,
trailer
it's
number one?
Absolutely mind-boggling.
Like, am I doing a podcast for the wrong game? Are you guys playing the wrong game? What is with?
No, man. No. I was doing the dishes the other day with my iPad up, all right, and there wasn't a lot of good streams on, I have to tell you. There were some reruns of IPL, and then there were a couple bad players playing. And then there was, like, Han, which is very similar, of course. And so I turned on Han, and about 30 seconds later, without even drying my hands, risking destroying my iPad because it was so terrible to watch, I switched over to one of the terrible StarCraft players, and then eventually I just left my dishes because there was nothing to watch.
Tyler, you've played League of Legends, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think it's going to do what it needs to do. It's a good enough esport. I don't think it's.
Is it good to
anywhere
watch? You
as
enjoy
good
watching
as
it after you know how to
StarCraft.
play?
I don't think that's the part that it loses me. Keep going.
Yeah,
Keep interrupting.
I mean, I
Yeah,
understand it's fun, but can you actually watch that once you understand the game really well? Like, I don't really get the game. I really haven't played it, but just turning on, I can watch a lot of esports, man. I can watch Counter-Strike, I can watch Quake. I'm good at this, all right? But the Dota games actually, like, break my soul.
Hey,
It's like,
Artosis. What does MOBA stand for, Artosis?
I don't
I was
know, it's
actually
a whale,
wondering
right?
I told you this earlier, man. We had
I
this
don't-
long.
What does it stand for?
Whenever, like,
Don't
I'll
ask,
try,
man. It's hard.
and
No,
this
I wanna know.
weekend, I'll watch the LOL thing because if someone's gonna win $1 million, I want to see what that looks like.
The Dota 2 thing is this weekend.
But like when I watch LOL, I'll get a zoom in here. Okay, this is the look on my face because when I'm watching it, I'm watching the stream, but then like out of the corner of my eye, I'll like look around. It's the same thing like if when you're watching golf at like a golf tournament, you're like, are we all? Is this real? Like it's the same. It's the same thing over and over again.
the
Does
maps
everyone?
are also an hour long,
Do we know this?
roughly.
And
Yeah.
it's hard for me to get into. I hate to hate on a whole game that's got these huge numbers, but man, like I liked playing Han. I played it in between StarCraft beta and release, and everyone fucking yelled at me the whole time. But that's just like a stream chat in StarCraft 2, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. But it's fun to play. Can't stand watching it. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Does it get a big viewer base just because so many people actually play it casually, or is it fun to watch for other people who don't play the game?
I don't.
You have
I
to
think
play
it's
the
because
game.
it's
you won't know what's going on.
It's really because China plays the fuck out of some Dota. I think is the big thing. There was on Live on 3. They had one of the casters for the Dota tournament on. Maybe it was. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Might have been last week. But he was saying that in China, there was a team that was bought for $6 million.
Yeah, like
and
a
all it
Dota
was
team.
was just like.
Huck wasn't, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's just get that out there. That was.
Yeah. But it was a
Life
single
changing
team,
numbers.
5 players, and they were bought by for $6 million. That's just like.
Yeah, but the whole story that people need to understand too is that in China they were actually bought for that much.
They now own
They
them.
now.
Well, yeah, that's probably true.
Sorry.
That's probably true. But still, like, Dan, I mean, you're actually one of the biggest proponents of this. You always are promoting the fact that China is the key to esports.
Yeah, of course. The numbers are astronomical. Like, they're just more people there, and they like games. So, and actually, to be honest, in the events that I've gone to in China, the organizers treat you so well and really respect you, and I love that. And the fans are amazing. The fans are so passionate. And actually, now I have to say, actually, the North American fans and the European fans are just as passionate now that I've been to like MLG and ESL and stuff like that. So I guess everyone is at this point. But back when I first went to China, I was like, oh my god, this is absolutely the place.
I remember going back when I worked for WSVG at, I think WSVG China, there was an event where Grubby was trying to use the restroom, and he literally could not use the restroom because there were people asking for his autograph as he was trying to use the urinal.
That doesn't impress me that much, actually, man.
It doesn't?
Actually,
That's happening in
happens
MLG.
now.
That's happening, and that's
Yeah.
actually not cool, man. You guys need to stop that right now.
No, it's awesome. It's great for the game.
Well, it's good,
great.
but like that's kind
Kind
of
of
weird.
frustrating when you gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, like
I had
you're
one
trying to
guy
take a
hold
piss
my,
now.
and so I could sign at the same time.
That's really nice.
Very kind of him.
Terrible.
Like,
I did that joke just to see Tyler go, oh, fuck. He went like, oh, I know what he's saying. That's gross.
Yeah, Scoots does make a good point. This isn't State of League of Legends, so let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Scott.
If you have
The distant hater.
He is. If you have user questions, send them to itmejp at twitter.com/itmejp. We'll go ahead and pull some of those. The Dota 2, the International, the big event that's going to be kicking off, I think, like 3 hours from now. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be watching that. Are you guys going to watch it? You guys going to tune in tonight?
Let's do it. I'll watch.
You want to stream party and we could just look like sit on
Wait,
our
what's
fucking
happening
chairs?
Do it live.
The
The
Dota.
Dota 2 tournament.
It's going live in like
Wait.
3 hours.
What are we watching? Oh.
you guys are watching the GSL in like 3 hours. What are you talking about?
Who's playing? I thought tonight was kind
How
of.
many
weird
Terrans tonight?
At least 5.
100,
Wait, hold on.
obviously. It's-
We're not going to be live next week, but
Let's take a look at this.
we're not going to be live next
Fest.
week. But Nesty versus MVP is going down
Oh,
on Wednesday,
you know what? They've
right?
got Hagen
Artosis?
versus Virus.
Oh, that's a terrible group.
Clyde versus Supernova.
Clyde is so winning this season,
Oh,
man.
And then Group H, Greg, actually, this is kind of valuable.
Group H has Lucira at least.
Lucira versus Snare, and July versus Genius.
Lucira's just gonna shit on everyone. July could be fun. No,
July
it's
Genius
Med
could be
Jizzle.
nice. Could be a good
Maybe.
match.
It depends on which Genius.
That group's
shows
actually
up.
awesome, but Hongen and 3 Terrans is actually like some kind of... That's
Yeah.
one of the L right there.
I can't wait to see what
it's
huge
three
hole
really
Hongen wants
generic.
in his play tonight, man. I cannot wait if he's like,
Are you
I
casting,
don't want...
dude?
yeah, man. What is he going to skip? Is he going to skip skip Stalkers against Mass Viking again and just hope his opponent doesn't realize? How's it
All
gonna
three
go?
of those Terrans know that they're going to get a Void Ray bust, and one of those 3 is going to lose to it.
Yeah.
It's like the three
Isn't that
most
funny?
generic-
Isn't it funny how that works?
It's like the 3 most generic Terrans in Korea too. That's a terrible group.
Supernova's pretty cool.
He was Dream
I
Team
like
Sarah.
Supernova's TVP. I really like it. Sometimes he's too greedy, though.
Let's do a viewing party, though. I'll be up, for sure.
For GSL or Dota? Dota actually seems more interesting than
We'll
that.
do both.
We can
I mean,
start with the Dota. We'll
you
start
can
with the Dota.
Fucking open 2 streams, man.
Start with
shit.
the Dota.
Technology.
We'll start with the Dota. Real quick, Artosis, MVP and ST is next week, right? Do you know what day that is?
Oh my god.
Oh, I hope to God it's Tuesday. I have to check. I don't know.
That's like...
I think it's...
Why don't
I
you
think
just...
it's Tuesday.
Hold on. Go up to Mr. Che, be like, look, can we just claim this as the final? And just let
I'm
it play,
serious.
so you guys actually have a good final for once?
No, because then that'll
Never.
make it a shitty series. You don't want that.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's true.
Good.
This could be
Jeff,
a great
that's a very good
series.
point.
Guys, come on. You're like really messing with my good StarCraft. I don't want that. Thanks.
Could that... I mean... That technically is the best Terran in the world versus the best player / Zerg in the world, right? As far as
Yeah,
you guys
pretty
are
much.
concerned.
Yeah. It's hard to argue otherwise.
We'll find out when that match is, so...
I just hope
think
it lives
it's
up to it. That's
They keep
I
it in order.
actually try not to get excited about these matches because sometimes they disappoint severely.
That's true. Well, let's take
I wanna
some...
believe.
Well, actually, when two players like that disappoint, like the games aren't good, that's actually really cool because one of them figured something out. That's like the only way an ST MVP won't be good.
Yeah, I think you're like the only guy that likes that.
You don't like to
You can
like see
appreciate
people
it.
figure new things out? That's awesome. I love to look at that and just like figure out what they figure out and understand it. That's I
I'd
don't
like
know,
40,
Jeff.
45 minutes
Jeff
of
just likes to be
flame
entertained,
Terran
like
buildings
flashing
and
lights and
limping
clowns and juggling.
infestors
And,
burrowing through the ground and shitting out infested Terrans and in the last shot sniping the final medevac and the crowd's going wild. That's what I want. Dan wants 47 roaches curb stomping a Terran base into oblivion.
what I want to see is like
MVP
Nesty
has-
figuring out how to make like 2 extra drones and then winning because of that. That's what I want to see, Jeff. I want to
That
see
could
someone
happen,
figuring
'cause
out something new.
MVP has like the most abusive aggression plus double expansion builds I've ever seen. And
Mm.
if Nesty could very well have something like that that just beats it. It's
Yeah,
probably gonna be a
yeah.
shitty series, but it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, because that's it, man. Someone's going to figure something out, or it's going to be a great series. That's it. Neither of these players are ones that have bad games.
Question from Reed Jr. on Twitter. If he says, if I met any of you at the bar after a tournament, what drink should he buy you? Jeff, go.
Mojito.
Artosis.
If he sees me at a bar,
Come on, man. Don't.
That-
This is
Dan,
I'm
how do you
walking-
fuck this up?
then I'm walking through to
How
my
do you
room
fuck that
and I'm gonna drink. One of those, like a blue moon. That's what it's called, right?
yes.
Just like the beer.
I'm about to throw my...
Been a while.
Man, I'm in Korea, man. We don't have good beer here.
But if I were to be in a saloon, I'd say, bartender, what do you have on tap on this fine evening? I'd look at my
Thank you, Jeff.
wristwatch, and it would be 9 past noon in the evening. Which reminds me, no.
You don't like that impression, do you, Dan?
Now it makes me feel old, Jeff.
Well, got news for you.
IdrA, what's your drink?
I don't know, maybe a whiskey sour. I like that.
Tyler?
Got so many, man. I'm gonna have to
Liquid
say my
Tyler.
latest. Well, yeah.
He's
But
going to
I'm
give you a
gonna have to say-
sandwich at a bar.
Lately, I've been getting old fashions, and I'm gonna guess no
What?
one here knows what that is.
Oh wow! No, I watch
old
Mad
fashioned.
Men. I know what that is, man.
Like 7-Eleven.
Oh, really?
That's what Don Draper drinks.
No. It's like a whiskey. It's a.
Oh, God. Okay. You guys know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about, though, right?
No.
What?
Oh yeah, I think I do.
ounce?
Yeah.
Old-fashioned. Is it
Yeah, no, this is
Old English? I'm thinking of Old English. Right now.
Okay, yeah.
Fuck. Well, there's no coming back from that one.
I got to
So
say...
a cool guy drinks old fashioned.
Yeah,
Is that
Don
what you're
Draper, man, from Mad
Okay.
Men.
I haven't watched Mad Men.
I didn't know you watched Mad Men.
Yeah,
When
I
the fuck is
started-
that coming back?
I'm
I'm on, like,
just
withdrawal.
finishing season 2 right now, so I don't actually have any idea.
You're lucky.
I gotta say, Sundance has gotten me hooked on, what is it? Oh god. Vodka and club soda. It's pretty good.
Yeah, those mix really well.
Never had it before
If
that.
Permafrost is in the house, that changes the game, though.
Well, that actually is true, because then you just get Burt syrup and just drink it, like,
That's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
just
You
on
can
the
drink, you
rocks.
can mix it.
Get
You can
get
do
that
anything with
birch
that.
on the rocks,
The
and
blueberry
really?
one is fucking amazing.
Raspberry and what were we having?
No, we had the rhubarb and lemonade.
oh, is that good? I haven't had that
Lemonade.
yet.
You can't even taste it. Like, you do it 50-50 or stronger, and you can't taste it at all. It was kind of
Really good. Yeah, I actually filled a whole glass with it and drank it.
Permafrost vodka.
The problem is you can't do that in Arizona without. You have to drink water. You actually wake
Get
up.
too dehydrated.
Oh man,
You get stuck to your bed like Artosis once was on the couch that you told that one time.
the Artosis leather. No, I don't do that bad, but it's
I was moist, man. That was terrible.
That's what she
I love
said.
how you say the word
the
moist.
couch was moist because all of the water was out.
It was a
The
bad
sound
couch.
was the best. As he
Like peeled up?
Yeah. Sick.
Here's a good question from Almighty Joker. He wants to know, will we ever see the League of Legends match between the host of State of the Game? Should we do that?
I've
You
never
did-
played a MOBA before, so.
We could set that up. We could do like a 3-on-3. I think they have that mode.
I think Tyler's played a lot though, so he'd pretty much.
Yeah,
Well,
that would
I've
be
played
fair.
over...
You'd want to stick Tyler with like Artosis to balance it out, and then like 3 of us.
I've played like 200 games of Dota, but I've never... Or 200 hours of Dota, but I've never played a single game of or League of Legends. So...
I was the Blade Master in Han, and apparently you're supposed to do something called carry in that game or whatever. But
Wait, in Han? Or you
what
mean
that meant
Dota?
was I just got yelled at by everyone.
No,
and
that's
I-
actually... Alright, so the best part... I know we're going back to League of Legends. The best part about playing that game is just yelling at people. That's like...
one of those jackasses.
yeah, I was one.
Fuck you, JP.
I
man.
actually was the worst. I got banned
Oh.
over 90 times from Clan TDA, and if you know what I'm
Are you
referencing...
serious?
Yes. You can go look up those bans,
We're so
too.
glad they banned you. Do you? That's like
90 times, Jeff.
It's like Psionic Reaver level.
I can't believe that you made 90 accounts to get banned with JP.
Oh, man,
I
I
think
I
that-
played this... Look,
Do you not have anything
Holy
to
shit.
do?
no,
Like,
I did... Dude, no, this is during the WoW period, man. Like, you guys
I
don't
get
understand.
it, man.
We don't raid in WoW, then
you're
you're playing
one of
Dota.
those guys.
I am.
JP, who hurt you?
Imagine if he was reading books during that time or something instead of making new
I'm
accounts.
playing
Yeah, I know.
StarCraft
Just
1.
the account. He could have played the same amount, just not had been in bad manner and not made 90 new accounts. Because
Could have been raking.
however long that takes, man, you add that amount of time up 90 times. You could have done something important there, man. You could have helped a little old lady cross the street or something. You should feel ashamed, JP.
I could have, or I could have just cussed someone out and had fun laughing while doing it. From CUIU _ on Twitter, for In Control, what do you think about late game Phoenix versus Infestor?
Mixing in like 4 or 5 of them is really good, I think.
Yeah.
So
but if you
I'm
go more
sorry.
than that-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is that? Are you guys in control? No, I'm just kidding. We were talking about this actually. We were watching GSL, and was it Killer that mixed in a few late game Phoenix?
Yeah, Verset Violet, yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
the
that was last
concept
night?
was really cool. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
just
that was
have
awesome.
5 max, and their sole purpose is to spread out and go lift up infestors. And the funny thing about it is, if they take the time to fungal the infestor, fuck it, you just won. Like that's great. Fungal the shit out of those Phoenix. Like that's great. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I mean, if you open Stargate and just come back to Phoenix like that, I can see a lot of utility there. So I'm definitely gonna experiment. If he's talking about mass Phoenix, it's still cool. Like Kiwi Kaki looked a reference for him. But it's really risky, in my opinion. It has a lot more risk to like the risk is higher in terms of variance to the reward. So I'm more on par with not on par, but I'm more in support of like 5 Phoenix most.
Yeah. I agree completely with everything you just said.
Thank you.
I actually have a question for the two tosses here. White Raw's the only player I've ever seen use a warp prism with his army and actually just use it as a mobile pylon instead of actually putting down a forward pylon. Have you guys thought about ever doing that, or what are your thoughts on that? Is it
I
just
actually
too flimsy?
I actually posted on Team Liquid the moment they announced the warping mechanic that was going to be standard. But
He's
Warp
the
Prisms
only
are
Protoss
so,
that actually does it.
Warp Prisms
I
are
actually-
so
I
fragile,
like
it's
it.
kind of dangerous.
I've-
It makes him a little bit more mobile if you keep it in the back.
Well, then they can't snipe it.
You'd have to be careful
Yeah.
with it. But
I think you're just
yeah.
better off putting pylons around the map and then
Yeah,
warping in
that's-
from a little further away. But they give you information. They're actually half the cost. They have like more utility. Like if you lose, it's not a big deal. It gives you supplies so you need anyways, and you can warp in. And anywhere you put a warp prism, it's not like it's going to be so convenient to your army that it like negates the purpose of a pylon that's somewhere in that area as well.
Real late game too. It's a very small warping area, so you got to be careful about that.
Yeah, I've done it a few times with the main purpose of hitting like a really hard timing, because if you're basically like sitting in your base and you don't have a pylon hidden somewhere out there, and you move out with your army and he sees you moving out, and then you build a pylon, you wait for the pylon to finish, then you warp in, then you attack. That's not good. if you move out with your army and a warp prism is in it, and then you just park yourself outside of his base, warp in, and then go, that's a lot quicker. And then the shit you can do with the warp prism after that, you know, like warp your units in, send it to his mineral line in his main, and then your big timing is going on. If you're not going to win the game with it, then you just warp shit in and harass with it and start, you know, planning for your next move. So it gives you some flexibility, and you can hit a little bit of a quicker timing, but obviously pretty flimsy. But I mean, when you move out, you have map control. That's kind of the idea behind these builds. So if you have the time with a robo to build one, usually I think the 200 minerals are worth it for sure. So I've done a little bit. White Raw's much more adept at it. But yeah, I think there's something to it.
I've actually been, for the last couple of days, really working on this, and I think this is going to become a part of my mainstay PvZ, but I've been just using a Warp Prism as a counter mechanic during any kind of major engagement.
I actually saw you do that with a bunch of Zealots today. You dropped it in the main.
Yeah, it's actually hilarious. I don't think a lot of people are doing that, so I don't want to give all the blame to Zergs, but I think their multitask is pretty shit.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's just kind of abusing the fact that they can't multitask right now on ladder?
Yeah,
and then
of
if you
course.
play that in...
How many Zergs have their entire army on one hotkey right now? You know, so if there's a big fight going on, 4 Zealots snipe the Queen, and then they start hacking away at the mineral line. It's an inexpensive drop, and it does a lot of damage. And then you turn it into a flower, and you can actually warp in 35 new guys. So it goes from this like weird looking like this looks like a ridiculous elevator in like a futuristic movie, and it's dropping off Zealots, which aren't that big of a deal. But then all of a sudden, there's an army in your base. It's kind of cool.
And Zealots are good against units that aren't microed. Like, it'll be an approach one-on-one.
Yeah.
And a lot of Zerglings, especially if you can just get them set up in a choke somewhere just between his buildings. And I was going to say one more thing. It's not important. Next question. I couldn't remember what I was gonna
Here's
say.
the follow-up. 100 hit points, 40 shields on a Warp Prism. What is the tipping point for that unit being overpowered in terms of increasing the shields and HP?
I think too much more, and you're pushing it, because it's with the speed upgrade, it's really fast, and it just has such application. Just being able to warp in everything, especially with rescue units like DTs, that's a really fine line to walk. I mean, it is incredibly fragile, but it does have to have some weakness, otherwise it becomes overpowered pretty quick.
I don't think that anyone's anywhere near the skill required to give a true guess on when the Warp Prism would become imbalanced. It's a unit that's not used nearly enough, it's not used nearly good enough, not the right situations. There's by far insufficient data to guess when it would become overpowered.
Well,
you look at JYP versus Dongrygu. That is like one of the few times we've actually seen harass-based PvZ.
Yeah.
Wait,
really apply,
JYP won
and
that,
it just
right?
Yeah.
Someone told me he's like
really
incredibly fucking good. Is this true?
Probably Artosis.
Well, no, it was
That's-
actually hit. Hold on. It was actually
I don't think so.
Major. It's actually
Only
Major,
this
who
one.
is Artosis' friend. So this might have come
Poor
second
Dan.
hand from Dan. But Dan,
No.
is he good?
I've heard from the TSL head coach that JYP is insanely good in practice.
Well, I don't
Here's
know
the thing about balancing the Warp Prism, though,
Mhm.
is, and this is just balance in general, a little theory, is like, when things are underpowered, it's hard to know that they're underpowered, because people try it and they fail, and then the question is always, well, maybe there's some other way to do it, or maybe you're just not good enough. But when Blizzard buffs something and makes it overpowered, and then, you know, people read the patch notes, they're like, oh shit, this thing's really strong now, I'm going to try it a lot. And then it's overpowered. And then Blizzard can tone it down a little bit from there, and then everyone's comfortable with that. They're like, oh, we saw when it was really strong, that was bullshit, and now we've toned it down, and now it's good, and we can all agree on that. So I would actually like to see a buff to the Warp Prism. You know, I hate to see tournaments be decided on shit like this, but it's necessary. And if it's OP, it's OP. And then we can tone it down, and then whatever was working when it was OP, that it was working too well, well, then we'll tone it down, and some of that shit won't work anymore. But we know what does work, and we know what ought to work, and that would be nice. So I kind of like seeing OP things get toned down for balance purposes, rather than should just stay. I mean, it's kind of like the Infestor. You know, a lot of Zergs were told, hey, you have to use Infestors more. And then they were like, yeah, well, we tried it a little bit. And then finally this change, the Infestor came, and then everyone tried it a lot. And now a lot of people know how Infestors can be used. And they seem pretty balanced at this point.
Though. Like, the increase in DPS, especially like the rate it deals damage at, they weren't nearly that good before. They could have been used more, but...
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is I think it was...
I thought you were like... Oh, okay, I thought you were saying more like buff it to draw attention to a unit that's already good, like the Ghost.
No, I'm saying like Zergs were trying to use Infestors, and maybe the Infestors were a little too weak, and we would never really know if they were balanced because pro gamers can't spend that much time on experimenting on shit that might not pan out. And so you buff it and you give them a lot of incentive to put in a lot of time with the unit, and then if it turns out it's too strong, you can tone it down. But for the Infestor, I think it's turned out to be a really good unit now, so they don't have to tone it down.
Well, Tyler, I will say the easy joke and the overused one is that we have two people in this very Skype call that will tell us when something is imbalanced if it gets perfect. So,
as long as it's not for the race they're playing.
Just keeping it real, man.
Keeping it real.
Which is going to get hard. You guys are both Protoss and Zerg now. So you can only really talk about Terran.
Well, they said Alliance and Ghosts.
Fortunately, there is a lot of material there. I mean, there is. I think you can squeeze out a good 5, 6, or 7 dozen episodes. But I mean, after that, what are you going to do for season 17?
All right,
Dan will switch races again by then.
Dan's not laughing. We feel like I got to move on.
Dan's getting serious, man. He's like,
I cut my thumb. I don't know how I cut it. I don't know what's going on.
Started hearing all those numbers of
like
League of Legends and Dota. You just killed yourself. You know, Greg, a bunch of people on Twitter tell me I never ask you about Huck, and that's not because you hate him.
No, we're purposely avoiding it. I'm actually going to stab him the moment I move in, because EJ's having two people who hate each other live together.
Yeah, it's so weird that many people are interested in Greg's going to be like, all right, listen, guys, can I be honest with you guys? Can we just get real for a minute? He's a fucking jerk. I fucking hate that guy.
That little midget.
That moment happened.
Hold on. What would actually happen if IdrA, Huck, and Machine all stood on each other's shoulders? They might be taller than Pain User.
They would be able to get on most of the rides.
There's so many jokes here, Jeff.
There's a couple.
Incredible.
I'm so happy.
You have to have a big. You'd have to have a pretty good sized trench coat. Like we're talking medium men or something like that too.
I'm so happy because I'm actually the tallest of that group, and that's something that doesn't happen very often. So.
Yeah, but people are
You're
short.
the tallest of all the short guys on your team.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: people are short when Greg's like, "I'm the tallest," and he lets his hair grow to make sure it stays that way. Like he's tall by a fraction of an inch.
He wears
I got a good
high tops
half inch
now.
on Rice.
Greg, you're going back to Korea. Didn't ask you about that either.
No, well, okay. The first one, me and Huck are absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You know, we've clashed in game before. He has an ego, I have an ego. That butts heads at times, but he's gotten a lot better. I respect him as a player, and we actually get along really well, just on a personal level.
You guys are actually kind of similar, by the way.
We have similar senses of humor. Yeah.
Again with the short jokes, JP, get off it, man. Like he's trying to. No.
You guys can't see me, but I was making us up some there. Anyways, continue on.
As for me moving to Korea, I said on Inside the Game, our news posts, some people read it as I'm going in October. And it actually said that we're going to have a training facility. We're going to have a place for our players to live together in October. Huck and Puma are likely to move in immediately. I will be going at a later date, maybe November, but nothing said at all yet. I will be going for at least a month or two. Probably just practice for now, not to live there. We'll be going unspecific date. That pretty much sums it up.
Sweet. Well, I know a lot of people will be...
Do you know where the apartment's going to be?
No.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. You know, we never made picks individually for MLG Raleigh. Jeff, who's going to win?
My heart says... My heart says IdrA. My brain says Bomber. My cock says me.
Artosis will go last because he always has the. He always goes a little outlandish. IdrA, who's going to win? Just go.
Wait, are we talking about MLG or
Artosis? Just quiet for a second.
Hold the phone. Are we talking about MLG?
Keep on typing. Whoever.
MVP. I said MVP for the last one, man. I did. There you go.
Honestly, the Koreans are very beatable this time, and I'm practicing a lot. I really like my chances to beat Bomber. I don't like my chances versus Dongrigu that much, but he's also a little bit fragile. He could definitely lose to people in his group. I actually think I have a legitimate chance. So does Naniwa. I'd say either Bomber or Dongrigu has to be the favorite. And Huck.
Tyler, who's going to win?
You know what?
Artosis,
Puma's
not your
there
turn
too.
yet.
Shit.
Oh,
Yeah, Puma's
forgot
not.
about Puma.
Yeah. Shit on a
God
stick.
damn it! You guys stole my answer.
I change my brain answer to Puma. My heart answer remains IdrA. My cock answer remains me.
Tyler, who's gonna win? You don't have to give the same answer that Jeff, or at least the same way Jeff just did. But if you want to, by all means.
I'd like it if you did them. Can I say
I'll
that?
do the first two. Well, I'll do all three.
Thank
I'll do all three body parts. Bomber, Rhett, me.
Brain, heart, cock. Good.
Artosis, you're not playing,
Wait.
so whoever you choose for your cock will actually solidify the fact that you are gay. But continue on.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, JP.
I know. I'm just
Jesus.
saying. Go Artosis.
Oh, okay. Do we have the full list of who's coming for open bracket from Korea?
I don't think it's announced yet, but it's.
Probably not too many. Or no, never mind. I was
It's
thinking
well
ASL.
Liquid
Puma's
Hero is going to be there.
Well, he's really good, but
He's going to snipe Puma right out of the open bracket.
that would be funny. I'm like watching him. I guess this one's so much harder to actually predict. A lot of these guys have like kind of normalized their level. I think probably Bomber will take it, but I could see Puma as well taking it. I think if they meet, Puma wins. So unless Puma's, I guess that means I have to go with Puma because I don't know who actually can beat Puma. He's just too good. So I think Puma and Bomber in the finals. I think Puma probably win, but Bomber. If Puma doesn't get to the finals, Bomber wins.
Is that your final answer?
That's going to be my final answer right there.
Your life is on.
Puma
If you're
Puma
wrong,
beats Bomber in the finals?
Artosis.
I think if Puma and any Terran in the world meets, Puma wins. Maybe Ryung could take him out or something. I don't know.
Who's your cock answer, though?
In control. I would love.
Yeah,
I would love
I don't
to
know.
see that. It's because you're such a dick. You know?
I see what
You
did
know,
there.
I was actually going to do one more question, but that is the show.
That just beat all of yours.
I
That,
didn't even see that. That was well played.
that is the showstopper.
That was the zoom in.
Thank you guys for watching. Also, what is that, Jeff?
It's a hive Terran.
What does it do?
This is what I do a lot of the time.
You move its arms and play around, or
No, it's not. Not a toy. Not a toy.
I'm just
Puts a little
trolling.
cape on it.
Good lord, you guys. Have some respect. I put them
apologize.
together, and then I glue them, and then I paint them. And then I read books about how cool they are, and we play games.
Who's won the most out of? Do you guys play against each other in the AGLs?
It takes fucking forever to put that shit together, man. We're not going to be playing for a long time.
All right.
I had to bring it to my computer desk because I couldn't make it up the stairs because I play so much StarCraft. So I have a Hive Tyrant and I have Old One Eye sitting right next to me.
Oh man, I still can't stop laughing about that zoom in. Follow us all on Twitter. You can find it under our names, except for IdrA, where I forgot the I, but that's just because I'm upset about them stealing Huck from Team Liquid. And let's talk about Alienware Finals tomorrow. DDE and Kawhi Rice will be playing. Myself and Chill will be casting that. And then Todd versus Chef, a show match on Friday that we'll be casting as well. And MLG's new show called The FAQ with... Can't believe I'm on a show with Slasher, but I am.
Wait, what are you in?
It's called The FAQ. We're going to answer community questions. Let's go to Twitter. Everyone's face.
What?
Everyone's face is just like... What?
Sounds
It's
exciting,
called
man.
the FAQ, and you're going to answer community questions?
We are. Twitter.com/MLGFAQ.
Do they have to be frequently asked, or can someone ask?
They can be.
Every
so
question's only going to be asked once.
This is going to be like the show and balance. It's going to go 3 episodes, and you guys.
Well, they've already done one.
No, Artosis isn't involved with it.
They've already done one.
Wait,
Artosis
Slasher's on that?
He actually is with Puckett, your favorite Halo guy.
He answers questions.
He does.
That's like asking Harry Carey for a
This
mild
is actually the best
response
press
about
the show will ever
baseball.
get.
It's
Keep
like,
going, Jeff. We good? Should we end the show with Fuck Slasher, like a good old One More Game production?
I'm just wondering what Slash's troll capability is when he has to answer questions.
Well, find out tomorrow, Jeff.
Yeah.
And that'll do it for the show. Thanks for watching, everyone. It's a ton of fun. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Shout-outs.
I forgot about shoutouts. Tyler, go shoutouts quick.
man.
Well, I had a quick announcement. I have arranged to do signing at Raleigh, so I am
Nice.
not going to feel guilty when I tell all the fans to fuck off because I am giving you a time where I will receive you.
I'm gonna be your PR guy.
Where I will receive you.
Not so much the
Could have
fuck
gotten
off,
the.
more like a I'm busy trying to play.
He also said
Yeah.
he's going to receive them, Jeff. You might want to work
I
on
will
that as well.
receive you.
Jesus.
There will be a reception. No, but I don't know the time yet. I don't know which day it'll be on, but it will happen. And when that's not happening, I will be a competitor focused on competing. So thank you. And of course, thanks to my team's sponsors, Little App Factory, Razer, and thanks to Stride Gum.
Jeff and Greg, you guys want to combine?
Do like tag team on the
Greg's
sponsors?
actually better about the sponsors than I am. Go ahead, Greg.
Intel SteelSeries, Kingston, Bigfoot Networks, Monster Energy, Intel Extreme, Six Pool Gaming. Anyone else I'm forgetting? Big thanks to them.
Very somber sponsor shout out. Jeff, what does that leave you to do?
They're nothing
Well-
to joke about.
A lot of fun stuff. As always, this will be the. Are we doing a Sega game next week? We have to be, right?
We aren't, because we're doing it live from MLG.
Well, do it live. Okay, fine. Then, as always, I want to remind everyone: please do feel free. If you're at the Raleigh event, Raleigh.
Don't even say the other one, man. Don't get that in my vocabulary.
Raleigh.
I'm gonna fucking kill you,
Can't say
Greg.
don't. Greg always trolls.
That's true.
Come say hi. I am, obviously, if I just lost or if I'm eating a hot dog or something of that nature.
Or taking a pee-pee.
No, that's okay with him. That's actually fine. If you see
As long
that,
as you
feel
hold his
free
dick.
to talk to Jeff as long as you hold his dick. Yeah.
Please do not. But otherwise, I actually go to these fully prepared to interact with everybody and say hi, so I really look forward to that. I do want to say this. I have failed at achieving the purchase and ownership of Venomthropes. So I don't need 500 people to bring a Venomthrope, so maybe this is the wrong place to do this, but if you have an unopened Venomthrope locally, I will buy it off of you. For like $25. I think they're $20, so again, hopefully like 30,000 people don't go out and buy one now, and then they're like, you said you'd buy this from me, and then I end up with 100 Venomthropes, which I don't need. I only need 3 of them. So if anyone can help me out, that'd be cool. And then aside from that, I'm streaming just about every day from 11 a.m. PDT to 3 p.m. PDT, and I would like you guys to check that out. It's In Control TV on Twitch TV. And then please add me on Twitter, EG In Control. Thanks a lot.
Jeff, what's a Venomthrope?
Oh, a Venomthrope? It's like it's one of these models that I just held up. It's a really difficult one to get a hold of.
Oh.
It's basically
Why
the
are they so
Defiler.
rare?
Because they used to make them out of metal, and then they stopped doing that. So I think there was a gappage in them releasing them.
Gappage.
I make words up all the time.
It's a town in Britain
it's
somewhere
Still,
or some
it's
shit.
still like floors people that I do that, but I've
Yeah,
done it my
Ben-
entire life.
Ben's rubbing off on us, teaching us.
I'm terrible with language. I always misuse words, and if I were to show you
Yeah.
guys papers I wrote in college, they would be like, "Hey, it was really well written, awesome content, but this word doesn't actually make sense. Neither does this one or this one." They would circle it and laugh at me. So it's been going on my whole life. But yeah, do that, and then also I want to give a shout out to Alaska Distillery guys.
Yes.
They actually are really, really supportive of us.
Yeah.
And all I ask in return is that if you're ever interested in any kind of alcohol, if you want to help support one that is actually supporting esports, which is so frickin' awesome, go to their website, order a bottle. Not only are you helping them, who is helping us, But
Well-
also, there's none of us that are going to complain about that alcohol. It's actually the best shit we've ever drank.
To
It's
be
like
fair, they're
It's
helping us.
ridiculously good, and they like beg to send it to us. It's actually amazing.
I
Everyone
do have
should.
to say, to be fair, they're helping us get drunk. They're not giving us money or anything. They're literally just helping us get drunk.
It's the same
So
thing,
There's
JP.
nothing wrong with that.
I do just want to clarify that we are not actually receiving any money from them.
well, they
I
showed.
just, no, I just got to thank. I love what they do, but I just
What are you
have
like
to
an
say-
FBI agent now? You have to.
I actually do have to
publicly
say this.
state received gifts like.
I
I was just
do.
about to kick him off stream.
They are Artosis. Shout outs.
Six Shacks, sixshacksgaming.com, my sponsors. Check out my YouTube, artosis.tv is a link to it, so you can just go there. I've been trying to put more on it recently, and like if you went and subscribed and took a look. Of course, my Twitter, it's like right about there. And, thehandsоменerd.com. Go submit designs, stuff like that. Check it out, thehandsоменerd.com. Great t-shirts. Jeff wears them all the time despite shaking his head now.
I do. They're awesome. They're awesome.
Yeah, go give that a look. We've got a lot of new shirts coming up, and we will forever. So there you go. Thanks.
There you go. Thanks for coming on, everyone. It was a good show. I had a lot of fun. We'll see you guys next week on Friday.
Live show, man.
From the
I'm
MLG main stage. Kicking it
Artosis.
in Raleigh.
This is like well past the bedtime, and I'm counting on you being there.
It is actually well past its bedtime. You
Mhm.
should be there.
Mhm.
And possibly details about the 2012 MLG season, which you won't want to miss because it's going to be awesome. See you guys then. Thanks for listening. We're out.